On my mark. 5.
We're on express elevator to hell. Going down.
2. 1. Mark.
Welcome back to the Resupply with me, Guy Next Door.
Me, DK.
And me, Van.
Bringing you your weekly double tap of most things, Space Marines and Laser Force. Hello everyone. Hello to you gentlemen, you fine gentlemen below me. Hello to chat. I get real nervous every time we go live now, just because I'm like, oh, let's see if my mic's working, because every time I don't check it, mic's not working. It's fucking dumb.
Once we go live, I can't get to talking now.
Exactly. That's exactly what. Don't say that, Stallion. You son of a bitch.
You son of a
you
bitch.
son of a bitch. You bastard.
What a dick. What a dick.
That's pretty well played. It
was well played.
Well played trolling from a fellow troll. Well, sometimes I troll. I trolled Than real good just before we went live.
You dick.
I think that vein has finally started to recede a little bit on his forehead.
It's what the beanie.
That's what the beanie is for. Yeah, the beanie is there to cover the vein.
I have to get my show composure back together.
Hey Morgan. I mean,
hey,
great to see you. Great to see Smalley. Huge shout out to our UK brethren. Our UK Whānau. It's very heartwarming to see all of you together. Well, most of all of you together playing some Laser Force. It warms my heart. Cheers.
Let's just
jealous.
All that for what it is. There is great jealousy emanating from all three of these cameras and probably the rest of chat. So, we love you guys, but fuck all of you.
Steve's too dark on his right side. Nothing I can do about it. Like, literally nothing I could do. I could do this. Hang on. Let's see if I can play with my lights. Bear with me. Yeah, it's due to this camera. It has issues at readjusting when the lights go off. But that's okay. How's your week?
He's in his camouflage like the Predator that we're going to talk about.
That's a terrible version of that sound, but I love it.
That wasn't bad. That wasn't bad.
Lucy, are you playing Laser Force at the moment? I mean, you get to play Laser Force all the time, so we're always jealous of you.
Yes, correct.
Fair.
Accurate.
Accurate.
But wait, are you playing with the Brits? Are you? Surely not. Surely you didn't make the trip. I mean, if you did, why are we not talking to all of you right now? That's what I want.
Maybe she did. Don't call her Shirley.
You sound like a cat, Steve. You should see when I paint my bloody whiskers on. It's great.
That's a good Predator. Good Predator.
So obviously we're going to talk about a particular movie that's somewhat Laser Force adjacent. But before we get there, I wanted to do some very, very quick shout outs. One, obviously, to everyone who's currently playing lasers at the moment. You're not, it's too far from here. Okay, I was going to say, I mean, that would have been amazing.
That would have been legendary, though. That would have been pretty fucking cool. We're not gonna.
But I mean, it's Europe. It's all like 5 minutes from each other, right?
Yep.
Totally.
Yeah.
Just like when people come to the States.
Yeah.
Los Angeles, New York. It's
basically the same. It's like driving from Auckland to Hamilton. But yes, shout out to you guys playing lasers. Also, a couple of quick birthday shout outs. Specifically to Old Man Traj. Happy birthday to you, brother. I hope your 60th went really well.
Sure it's not 69th.
Nice. And also, happy birthday to Dimmy-Hawk. His birthday today. Happy birthday to you, bro. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully you're not watching this show and doing something better.
What could be better than watching this show? Answer, a lot of things. Yeah, I know. I'm aware.
Pizza. Just off the top.
Playing lasers in the UK.
Playing lasers in the UK. Playing lasers in the Czech Republic. Playing lasers in the States. Playing lasers in Auckland. Playing lasers in Wellington. I actually
playing lasers. Full stop.
Speaking of playing lasers in Wellington, I got sent a I got sent a message earlier this week from our boy Leech. Hey Quezzy, what's going on? Enjoying your level 3 emotes, I hope. Licking your dog's anus. I mean, whatever you got to do to make their life better, there, Daz. As a pet owner, the show is better than Play Laser Wellington. So I got I got sent a message from Leech, and it was to do with the the fuck, what's it?
I don't know. You tell us. You're the one who fucking got the message.
What is the horse people? Minotaur. There we go. Horse people.
That's a long way to get there, bro.
He sent me a couple of social media posts that have been sent out by the showrunners, specifically for the Minotaur episode of New Zealand Today.
Okay.
Centaur. That's Centaur? Minotaur.
No, it was Minotaur.
Centaurs are horses, minotaurs are bulls.
There we go. It was Minotaur. It was bulls people. And yeah, it was, I think it was like, it had added the ladies that were wearing the horse heads. So yeah, he was like, yeah, if you want to check out their profiles. I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm alright without knowing who they were. Oh, yes, please. Wow, 2 is on the ball. That was so quick.
Bam.
Wow.
She's good like
work.
that.
Yeah, good work, too. Fucking like
Epic mod is 2.
Old Eagle
2
Eyes.
is the best.
Yeah, so if anyone would like to check out the profiles of the ladies of the Minotaur, hit up Leech. He'll sort you out. What's
You can find all their OnlyFans pages, I'm sure.
Yes, they do all sorts of fantasy themed content for their subscribers. I'm just speculating. I don't really know. I
Good for
definitely
them.
didn't check them out immediately. What have you guys been up to? How's your week?
I mean, my week was... This was quarterly IT planning, which I think I was bitching about last Friday. This week for me was just going to be a pain in the ass. And yet, like, I got done with stuff yesterday, and this is like the first IT planning that I've done in a while where I got done with it. I'm like, oh, actually, I don't feel completely emotionally drained.
Yay!
Huh.
Good.
It's almost like maybe being in a better, healthier mental state is helpful for getting through like that sort of intense work thing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I can tell it must not have been that bad. You only have like 3 more gray hairs in your beard. I was expecting way more.
Just see his
I mean,
pubes.
so so sidebar on the gray. Over the last like couple of days leading up to this, my Facebook memories started getting hit with a bunch of videos for when we were in recording the last album for Josh and Jet Noise, which was 2 years ago.
Wow.
At this point. And yeah, so I just kind of randomly clicked on when I was watching back, and of course I'm the one doing it, and I'm looking like, oh my god, my goatee at the time was like not gray at all. So like literally all of this is literally in the last 2 years. And it's like, oh, that's
COVID, man. It's a bitch.
Yeah.
it's very fucking depressing is what that is. But no, like this was a really good week. I mean, aside from the shitty soccer games I played, overall just a really good week. It was weird. Super weird. And it's like, is this what feeling good feels like? Because I don't really know what this feels like, but maybe it's good. I mean, that and helping Frosthammer get a job, like that was pretty cool too.
That. Speaking of which,
Nice.
not lasers related, but Frosthammer would like to point out that hand sanitizer sales have increased 620% last year, and have now fallen into sanitizer surplus so badly it's difficult for companies to actually.
I assume that's give it away.
Oh yeah, give it away. Yeah, you know what? Who I
What you
especially
get, COVID hoarders? Suck it.
I especially don't feel bad for people who are like, I'm gonna buy up all the hand sanitizers and then sell it for a markup. Suck it. But yeah. Anywho's, that's good. I'm glad. I'm glad you're feeling good, feeling fine. If the worst thing that you have to worry about is, you know, chucking some shoe polish through the old goatee, then then I think I'd say that you're in a good space.
He uses a special brand. It's called Just for Than.
Slow burn. Well done.
Hey Dolly, real quick aside, because you know, why not just have a private conversation with you amongst everyone else that's here? Did you get Spider Wisp to do your emotes for you? Because it looks really cool, really dope. You did, yeah. I could kind of tell by the art style. I really liked them. Right. So we should probably talk about this movie, right?
Or maybe DK should say how his week went, because
I mean, if you want.
normally he goes first.
Yeah, my week was fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna say, yeah, we talked briefly. Like, I have thoughts about the Dune movie since I watched it after the stream last week.
Yeah.
We don't
And
need
I
to
watched
get
it the
like
day after.
yeah, we don't need to get like too much into it because obviously we're going to talk about an entirely different film. Like, overall, I would say good positive review. Like, a big thing over the last week is I've just been trying to talk to people about it and like wondering if people who aren't familiar with the books or the universe, whether that movie made any sense to them, because that's like always my concern in the back of my head is like, ooh, is this going to do well enough commercially? Because like, are people not going to get this?
Is it standalone?
But it seems like
right?
by and large, people are more or less following along. So now, like, wondering that, I'm just like, well, it just makes me feel like a dick. Just like, huh, well, if you haven't read the book, you're not going to understand this movie at all. You need to know everything about Dune in order for this to make any sense. So obviously, the filmmakers did a good job with it. As somebody who did read the books, you know, really enjoys the story and that kind of stuff. Like, I thought it was a good adaptation. I was excited to see a lot of the stuff. There were some things I liked, some things that I thought maybe they could have done differently. Like, overall, I think sort of my opinion on an adaptation of Dune is I really think in order to do it the way I would want to do it, I would rather see like a probably like 12 episode like Amazon Prime, Netflix, HBO Max series, like 12 1 hour-ish episodes with maybe like a 90-minute finale or something like that to really get into stuff. And yeah, Stallion, I saw that part 2 has been greenlit. Supposedly it'll be a little bit of an interesting timeline to try to get it done. And I guess Denis Villeneuve's original plan was to maybe do a trilogy of movies, to maybe do it in 3 parts. So if that's the case, they're going to make like 2 or 3 2.5 hour films. Like, maybe there will be time to pack and a lot of other stuff, but
No,
overall it's pretty good. I'm still gonna watch it again to sort of try to just ingest and enjoy it with a maybe like a less critical eye. I was hoping that the first time I watched it, I'd just be like, okay, I'm just gonna turn my brain off and just absorb this, but I couldn't help but be making a bunch of mental notes while I was watching it.
Yeah, I kind of had so I've never read the books, but I've seen a multitude of different versions of the David Lynch version, because there are a multitude of different versions of the 84 version out.
Yeah.
And so part of what I was doing during the movie was like, I kept like, okay, yep, that scene, yeah, obviously there's going to be scenes that are going to overlap because source material, you expect that. And so when those matching scenes would come up, I was like mentally like, okay, what are they doing different here versus, you know, this, that, and the other. I think from the thing that I'm always watching a movie for through the first time, and I promise I'll try to make this quick also so we can actually move on to the thing we're actually going to do today, is I'm always watching a movie with an ear on the sound design. That's like that is always how I am experiencing a movie for in the first time. Is I'm always very critical of
Kind of your
how,
wheelhouse.
yeah,
That's
I mean,
gonna, translate well to the movie we're about to talk about then. But I'll let you finish your point.
yeah, Dick. And like I want to say like the first like 5 to 10 minutes of Dune. I was just like, "Yep, I'm here for this.
Mm.
Just yes, get more of this, please." And then I really, really, really liked what they did with the sound design of the voice in this version of Dune versus the 84 version. Like
Mm.
the 84 version for me, I mean, it's not bad, but I think it's too subtle.
Too
In
subtle.
yeah, the 84 version, I didn't think it was yeah, I it was fine, but maybe I have to rewatch because I haven't actually watched that version
Yeah.
for a while. But
I know that people think that version's a mess. I personally have like a lot of affection for the David
oh,
Lynch
same,
version.
same, which is
Yeah.
why I need to go back to it. But no, when they do the scene and Stallion, this is not a spoiler because this is in both movies. When they do the scene where Lady Jessica actually does full voice power control, that was fucking great. Like that was just like, yes, sound design, I'm here for it. Let's go.
Yeah,
All
sound
right.
design was great. Oh, but yeah, okay,
I
cool.
agree.
So
That movie
thumbs up from
was
DK and Than.
real good.
Yeah.
I definitely know everything to talk about. Share the
Well,
same
you better watch it soon, Steve, because
sentiments.
it's going to be making its way onto the rewatchables here.
Hey, just a real quick shout out to our boy Gaming Legend, aka Ivan. Is now 6 followers away from hitting that 50 mark. If anyone wants to click that link and give our boy some love, that'd be amazing. Right. So just before we get into this movie, I got sent a message from Heathen just now, and I think they were talking about it in chat, but we kind of missed it. Laser Force Gen 8 Infinity Laser Tag System is coming to Wellington Laser Force as of December 2021, which is amazing.
Cool.
And in fact,
Really close.
Stallion, this might be another opening to maybe get in contact with management and, do the old, hey, I see that you've actually put some money into your business. Perhaps we re-look at doing a members night again. I don't know, just a thought. It might be a little difficult, but we'll see. They might be open to it. That's exciting though, because it means that during our New Zealand World Tour, can you say hi to Fireball and Old Man DK? They could see you, bro. Hello to you, boys.
Yeah.
Thanks, Gaming Legend.
Cheers, bro.
And yeah, so it'll make our tour around the country. Yeah, I know, right? But
Looking forward to it.
yeah, it's. I think the way I'd like to do it is I'm currently working on a better mobile streaming setup for when our country does allow us to travel again. So when that happens, we'll document the whole thing. We'll run a couple of live streams and do some videos and blah blah blah, all that awesome stuff. So
Resupply on the road.
oh, I can't wait. It's going to be a good test to see how well an IRL stream can do. Because, road trips can be tedious sometimes. But I think that'll make it a lot easier or a lot better. Right. That's all the Laser Force news that we have this week. New Plymouth is only a 5-hour drive from Wellington. Yeah, exactly. So the idea was that we go Wellington, New Plymouth, we go Auckland, New Plymouth, Wellington, Napier. Was there one in Tauranga? Tauranga and also Whangarei. Whangarei's obviously the most recent to open, so perhaps we'll tack that on somehow. But maybe we'll do it over a week. And there's obviously a bunch of sites here in Auckland as well. So, yeah. There's a bunch of sites we can go play. It might be a bit of a right. You're feeling a bit down on Wednesday, so you check this out episode again, and then speech about connected communities from last week's pod cheered you up, reminding that you're doing a good thing. Also, we could check this out episode 2 somewhere in the future. Absolutely, yeah, definitely. When after the Federation news becomes more fleshed out, I think it'd be a really cool thing to talk about. If you're open to it, Lucy. Is Napier open again? That's right, Napier is closed. There was another one. I can't remember where it was going. 5 to go. Whoop, whoop. Can we add Europe to our New Zealand road trip? Absolutely. It's easy enough to drive there from here, so no worries. We could do that. Right. We watched a movie. We had a movie night last night. It was great.
Well, some of you had a movie night last night. Some of us were asleep.
Yeah, which, fair enough. It was a bit of fun. I really yeah. Yes, we did. There, Mr. Doom, we did. I quite like the movie nights actually in Discord. It's really nice way to watch a film with a group of people. Even if it is just on Discord, it's still really fun. I really enjoy it. So I am looking forward to when we're going to do it. You're going to pretend that you watched it with you guys and chipping with amazing excitement.
Yeah, Frosty.
Excellent.
You're like, yeah,
Perfect.
It's basically how I approach any time the boys talk about Dune. So I'm right there with you.
I'm gonna say, isn't that what our Lord of the Rings rewatchables is gonna be like?
Well,
It's
so-
just Steve being like, "Yep."
Yeah, well, so the thing is, okay, so Frosthammer is a massive Lord of the Rings aficionado. So I kind of want to
Yes.
bring him in for that podcast. It'll be the first
That's a good
rewatchables
idea.
we have that has a guest.
You can just go get burgers and just leave the stream running, and we'll be
It's-
fine.
It's like you're inside of my head. Yeah, getting pushed too many pencils. Oh, we'll get there. We're gonna get there. You missed it today. I had to strain your brain to try and remember the details about the movie. We've got you covered. We've got you covered.
We got you covered.
This film is no good for you. You'll do how to tune to the next one. You don't like this particular film there too? Too much? Is it too much? Spy, you know the pic I sent when I made your logo on Minecraft? Yes, I do. Yes. PTSD issues? Ah, right. You lost it to the world. Oh, you lost the world. Lost that world. That's easy enough to get back, bro. Just start again. So yeah, we've obviously done this a few times now. This is our fourth Rewatchables, our fourth time
Really
counterfeiting
is.
somebody else's better version of this podcast.
Correct.
But we
But this
enjoy
is the
it.
first one that we've done that the original, the OG rewatchables has actually also done. But ours is going to be different and better.
Yeah.
With blackjack and hookers.
Yeah. Do you want to, DK? Do you want to give people a kind of overview of what this is all about?
I would love to. All right, Rewatchables Predator coming at you. It's the 1980s, and American commandos are needed in a Central American jungle. Which one, you ask? Who cares? Why are they needed? Because the commies have kidnapped a government minister, and wait, who the fuck cares about that part? There's a killer alien that's hunting humans for sport. And despite the world's most rippled biceps and approximately 800,000 rounds of ammo, this commando unit is no match for a badass shoulder cannon because this scout turned on stealth mode and just started wasting fools. Picking off the elite unit one by one, from a WWE wrestler to Apollo Creed himself, Arnold tells the Lone Star to get to the chopper and faces off with a predator, discovering his secret weakness. He has worse eyesight than me, as long as you're covered in mud. Anyway, Arnold builds the
Apparently.
deadliest pre-Home Alone traps captured on film and snares the predator and nullifies technology. Faced off with a worthy opponent, Predator removes his helm and reveals his crazy-ass spider jaw vagina face. Arnold crushes him with the rock, but Predator plays some dirty pool and activates a nuke while he's dying. I gotta steal that move. But in the end, Arnold gets to the chopper and rides off into the sunset to go help some other right-wing Central American government, I guess. That was Predator. Yay!
Yay!
It's interesting you say vagina face because I reckon he just laughed once at the end and the rest was echoes. Ha, gold.
Wow.
And it's been
we're gonna get-
everybody. Good night.
We're gonna get there.
Yeah. I don't think I'd seen the movie all the way through. And yeah, it was pretty good. I really like this film. It was very good.
So this was also the first time I had ever seen this film, but I think we were
Shocking
talking.
to me.
And honestly, like when I think when I mentioned this last week or whenever we decided that we were going to do this, people were shocked about it as well. Um, but Steve, I think I like you said that you'd never like watch the whole way through, but from like talking pre-show, like you'd seen like bits and pieces.
Yeah.
Like I literally think in my entire life before today, because I didn't get a chance to watch it until today, because I totally do my homework ahead of time. Um, like I hadn't seen more than maybe like a minute or two of clips in this for in this movie ever.
Mm.
So it was definitely it was definitely an interesting watching an 80s action movie having never had any original grounding with this particular 80s action movie, but obviously familiar enough with all the tropes
You knew the
because
formula.
yeah, I mean the formula's there. Um,
And this is maybe
but
like the most 80s, most action tropey movie that was ever made.
yeah, it and I know since like some of the stuff we're gonna cover it as different portions of things, but and so I'll just make kind of a general statement to start with, and as we hit different things in this, I'll be more specific with things. But yeah, that was an experience. Um, it was interesting. It's
Fan's first message to me after he was like, "It's no aliens." I was like, "Well, I mean,
very
that's a
few
high
things
bar
are.
to set there, buddy."
Yeah.
Well,
I
and
did
that's
have the
and
same thought actually during the movie. I was like, "Oh, is this the best action?" No, Aliens is still better. Aliens is still better as an action film, I think.
well, and there's a couple specific things on that I'll get into when we get up to things that like didn't age well
Yeah.
that will be covered in that. But yeah, so we'll start from there. Yeah, it was definitely an 80s action movie with all the tropes and then some. It wasn't bad. I mean, I enjoyed it.
It wasn't
I don't
bad.
necessarily
What
know
are
it.
you talking about? It's so good.
I don't necessarily know that it's one that I'm gonna go back to.
What?
Oh,
I'm
the
gonna,
rewatchables, bro. You gotta rewatch
gotta
it.
rewatch it. I'm gonna rewatch it with Dan. I did show her certain scenes from the movie, and
Which I'm sure we're gonna get to.
oh, we absolutely will.
Let's hold that for
Oh, yeah.
what age that. Well, we'll get there.
So, do you want to give us a quick rundown of the categories, or do you want to?
Yeah, let's get to the category. So, category one, most rewatchable scenes. I mean, we better start with Dutch meets Dylan. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah.
it's literally a meme. It's literally been made
Yeah.
into a meme. So it's like it's a great
Go do
it's a
it.
great
So-
introduction scene.
Do it. Do it.
Yeah,
Do it.
and
Do it.
and honestly, like seeing that scene, I was like, I had one of those light bulb moments of, oh, that's where that meme is from. Because since I'd never seen the movie, I had no idea where that meme was
Oh,
from.
they totally
Well, now I
ripped this
do.
off from the internet. This is bullshit.
Dylan, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, so yeah, that was
See, I gave you pushing too many pencils.
It's so random, dude, and like they have a weird mid-air arm wrestle. It's so good.
yeah. It's like what? Really? Okay.
It
It's
is.
the only way I want to be greeted by you from now on, Steve, when we see each other in person.
DK, you son of a bitch! Psh. Both of us immediately separate our shoulders. Is that not what you guys do when you meet your friends? Well, so friends in this particular instance is a very strong word. It's so confusing to me, the nature of their relationship. Because clearly at one point they were friends, and they seem like they are friends, until he's like, I'm going to come hang out with you and your friends. He's like, I work alone. You're like, but you guys are friends. I don't understand. You clearly worked with this guy before. Yeah.
It's like when you have like your friend from camp or whatever, but then they meet your school friends, and it's like the groups just don't mesh properly. Or it's just like, ooh.
And your one
yeah,
friend
it's
spits on the new
you don't-
friend's
you don't-
shoe.
You don't cross your friend circles there.
Yeah, that's right. That's why I was really concerned
Across the
about
streams.
amalgamating like the Laser Force community and the Twitch communities together. Sometimes things just don't mesh well, but in this case,
Could be dangerous.
nobody spat in anyone's shoe. So, last seen Predator movie or BDSM with the whip. Sounds hard to tell the difference. You jumped the gun, mate. We'll get there. We'll get to the end. I'm not
No
sure
jumping
what,
the shark.
I'm not sure what that refers to, but we'll get there. For me, I really love the Billy looking into the trees, the clearing of the trees scene.
Yep. Okay.
He's just kind of staring off, and like that perfectly like crafted circle in the middle of the jungle with the vines that come across, and he's just looking out there. That's really cool. That scene.
Yeah. Also, as far as I've got two rewatchable scenes that are just since one, honestly, the first time that you see something through the predator's point of view, and I put that there because I was trying to, while doing some of these, I was trying to put myself like in that mindset of, okay, it's the mid late 80s, and this is this view is going to be so different than anything that you've seen in a movie previously. Like, it's just like, whoa, kind of like mind blown. Like, what is this? Why? I mean, obviously, it's an alien because of all the promo and everything, but still getting that moment of, it's you're looking through the enemy's eyes as they're looking down upon our intrepid heroes. Like, that's kind of cool.
I think it does like help reinforce that whole idea of the predator as this very alien thing. Like, everything about it is different. It literally does not see the world the same way that you do.
Yeah. And then because I'm a sucker, the assault on the
Camp.
rebel base thing,
Yeah.
whatever the fuck.
So good.
Yeah.
It's like how 80s can we get with all of the explosions and all of the like and you can tell that there's certain moments where like they're preparing for choreography, and then it's like, oh action, we're going now, and they're like mid pause, and then they actually do in the action. It's just like, okay, it's not a fun scene because obviously people are dying and this, that, and the other. Fine, whatever. But it's a fun scene because it's so fucking 80s.
Yeah.
It is the quintessential 80s blow shit up scene.
Yeah.
We're gonna kill a bunch of commies and blow shit up in a forest.
It's so obscure. Like, what what all of that actually is about. Like, who these people are, what nationality they are, what they're doing.
Yeah, we can get to that.
Yeah. but yeah, it's such a good scene. It's such a good scene, and like what I really like about it is it you're right, it's like quintessential 80s action movie scene, and then immediately at the end of that whole action sequence is, I think, is the first time that the Predator vision happens, or maybe the second time. And you're like, wait, what the fuck's happening? I thought this was just a standard like action film, and then it goes into like then the thriller, it marks the start, or at least like, yeah, it introduces the start of like the thrillery stuff where the Predator is introduced.
Well, and like, honestly, as cheesy 80s as it is, rewatching again, I was like, this actually does serve an important purpose for the narrative, though, is that it's establishing like how badass these guys are, and they can just do whatever they want to just this whole other group of soldiers. Like, they basically massacre an entire company, but yet they just get taken out like chumps compared to the Predator. So it's like, this is how you establish like these are actually our tough dudes.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's like in TV trope world, there's this whole trope called the stronger than Worf trope that produces a paradox, like in Star Trek: The Next Generation. It's like everybody knows that Worf is like the big, tough, strong guy, but the way you show that is because you always have somebody who is just beating the shit out of Worf. So it's like he's supposed to be the biggest, strongest guy, but everybody's just always like kicking his ass because it's like, well, that's how you know this other person's really tough.
Right.
So I'm like, this is the way you actually establish that is by showing that, yeah, these guys actually are really good at what they do.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, if the Predator starts taking them out, it's like, oh, well, these guys are idiots. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
This guy's just picking them off one at a time.
It's that whole adding context to the thing. So even though it is a gratuitous scene, it's not as gratuitous as it seems on first glance because of that. Yeah, it's fair. I'll go that.
I love the scorpion part too. Hey, come here. Did you have any particular rewatchable scenes, DK, aside from obviously the first one, which is kind of a given?
Yeah, so for me, I put down 6, which we already talked about too. Dutch meets
Yeah,
Dylan,
I've
and then
got 6 as well.
the hostage rescue scene.
Yeah.
The basically the shooting into the jungle scene after Jesse Ventura is killed, and they all just fucking open up everything
Yeah.
into
Okay.
the
I've got
foliage.
that too. Max shoots the predator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With Old Painless.
Is that the name of the gun?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the minigun's name.
Amazing.
I just call it like the hunted sequence where they're getting picked off sort of one at a time, basically through Dylan's death and Dutch jumping off the waterfall.
Yeah.
So it's like that's like a probably good 10-15 minute stretch.
It's
of
quite a
the
long
film.
stretch.
I tried to put that in, but that was the thing when I was going through these scenes. I'm like, some of these scenes are so continuous that I'm like, if I were just flipping through channels and I saw that we're at this point in the movie, like I guess that's kind of the whole idea of the rewatchables. Like, oh yeah, I gotta watch until this part. Well, I might as well just watch the rest of it.
I had Dylan death scene specifically as part of that whole long bit.
Yeah.
Because his whole death scene is awesome. It's so good.
Yeah, for sure. That's like also kind of a meme.
Yeah.
At this point now, I think.
Yeah.
The weapons crafting montage, I would put in as a rewatchable scene. I love me a good weapons crafting montage.
Now, is that with Dylan at the end?
With Dutch, you mean?
You Dutch, sorry, Dutch at the end?
Yeah, like after the Predator misses him and he's like sharpening the sticks and making the arrows and making the traps and that kind of stuff. I could just watch like weapons making montages from all these different films.
I titled that as
it's just
mud montage.
It's just a training montage by a different name.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Exactly.
Mud montage.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Love it.
They had to get that. They had to get that particular '80s trope in there somehow, and that's how they did it. Right there.
So Stallion made a joke last night during the watch. He was like, I think it was Stallion. He said, "Who wore it best, Dutch or Peter from the Hunger Games?" That was pretty good.
They stole his move.
Yeah, I didn't have time. My mouse work is not as good. Yeah. Did you have any one more?
And the last one is just like the Predator unmasking and then like their final fight with each other.
Yeah,
I guess is all sort of one scene.
That's quite a long fight sequence too. Like the whole movie, from when they start getting picked off, feels like one big long fight sequence with maybe two breaks in the middle, like but not very long breaks.
It's like the last 45 minutes of the film. I feel like are all just like it's pretty action packed, one scene after the other.
Yeah.
It doesn't give you much time to breathe.
Yeah.
That's entirely accurate.
But you're right, like if you turn the movie on, you could pretty much start watching from any point in the movie and really enjoy it. Like immediately like get drawn in. I only spent 3 days covered in freezing mud. Peter did not. We don't know what Peter's schedule was like. Maybe he did.
Oh, the mud apparently, well, at least according to MythBusters, not that freezing. Like they found that the mud actually can't mask your body temperature.
Really?
With the thing that they did. So I'm like, something else yet again ruined by the MythBusters.
Fucking MythBusters. This is why we're gonna have nice things.
Just enjoy it, mate.
Do you want to move to category 2?
Yeah, unless you have any other scenes that we should get into here.
I think the only other one I had was Predator can't see Dutch. that whole sequence. But that's like you said, it all kind of just rolls into one. So, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so best quotes. We have category 2. And this is why we have to say that this is appropriate for a Laser Force themed podcast, because we do have an appropriate audio file from this film.
We do.
It's included in
Two of
Space
them.
Marines 5.
Is it 2?
I mean, there's 2 total quotes that get used in the Laser Force system. One of them is not in SM5 because the ability doesn't exist in SM5.
Yeah. Which is
But- Payback time.
oh, is that this?
You're right.
Uh-huh.
I actually forgot about that. I forgot
Yeah.
about that.
No,
Yep.
Yeah, no, I
Payback time.
I
You're
heard
right.
that when Jesse Ventura picks up his minigun and payback time. It's like, oh, okay, that's where that's from.
Right.
Cool.
'Cause there's
And then obviously
There's another
Then obviously
one.
the big one.
There was another one that we weren't sure, because it's the same line, but we weren't sure it came from this movie. Was they just disappeared? And
that
it's
came from Aliens.
yeah, because it was the same line, but it sounded different. It sounded off. So we were pretty sure it wasn't from this.
The one that's in the one that's in the Laser Force system is from Aliens.
Right on, cool. Good.
Yep.
Because someone was
Yeah.
like, drink again, and we were like, well, I don't think so. I don't think that one is that sounded off. So that's good. It's
Yeah.
good to clear it up.
But in case you missed it, yeah, the big one is took him out with the heat seeker.
Oh, it's so good when he says it. I love hearing these sound bites because it makes me so happy. And this is how we're able to talk about this on the Laser Force podcast, kids.
Yep. We're getting a lot of mileage out of that 2-second audio clip.
Took him out with the heat seeker. I love it.
Out with
I
the
love
heat
it so
seeker.
much. I don't think there was any other good quotes from this movie. We could probably move on.
Oh no, there's
Winding us up again, you asshole.
Yeah.
Could you not get the fuck off? But
I mean-
don't, because
oh,
it is
no.
you.
No good lines.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously the first one was Dylan, you son of a bitch.
You son of a bitch.
Oh, I love
Yep.
it so much. It's so good. And then the extended version of that, yeah, obviously pushing too many. Yeah, he's got pushing too many pencils. That's quite good. But
One of my favorite ones, and mostly because I actually used this in real life. It was in the 2012 Nats, which we were all on the same team together. Is the I ain't got time to bleed
oh, so
Yep.
good.
line.
Yeah.
The one match that we were playing against Brisbane in 2012, I don't know if you guys remember this, where Peter was attacking our resupply, and we were running around the third castle downstairs, like near where the fun box resupply area was. And I was trying to get a reset on this motherfucker, so I ran around one side of the castle really quick and just face planted directly into his chest plate. I thought at the time that maybe I had loosened one of my teeth again, and I was like super pissed. But I was bleeding from my lip. I had blood coming out of my nose and stuff like that. And Peter was like, "Are we gonna stop the game?" And I was like, "No, motherfucker, we're actually playing well this game. We're not stopping anything." So I just like got back up, was around, and a ref who saw me upstairs when I went back up there was like, "DK, you're bleeding." I literally said, "I ain't got time to bleed."
Oh, that's so good. But they were like, "Oh, DK's so cool."
Oh no, they're probably like, "Fuck, I'm gonna have to wipe up this blood. I don't think this is safe."
I think he's a psycho, actually. Maybe he's got mental problems.
I don't know if that was. I was like, I don't want to replay this. We're actually playing well. We're hanging in with the Brisbane. I can't restart this just because I have a bloody nose.
So good. That's such a good line too. You're hit, man. You're bleeding. I ain't got time to bleed.
I ain't got time to
You
bleed.
got time to duck?
Well, and that and from the same person, the sexual T-Rex line. When he's
That's
when
not a
he's
good
offering,
quote.
that's fucking
What's
hilarious.
wrong with it? See, this is the problem. This is a generational thing, kids, and we're going to talk about this in a different section. The older generation aren't quite as refined as us youngins. Us youngins. That
not
line,
that
that
much
line
younger
made
than I
me
am.
audibly like gasp. Oh, it just we'll get back there. We're gonna circle back. How shame on you, for shame, Than.
The sexual Tyrannosaurus Rex line is fine. Some of the other ones, not so much, and we'll get to those. But that one was just that one was fine.
This is the kind of conversation that you have while splashing around in your puddle of mud. Throwback.
That you cover yourself with?
Yeah, that's right. Mud montage.
Full circle.
Is there any other quotes? Probably not from
There's
this.
several more.
Probably not.
You want to throw one out, Steve?
I mean, I don't want to. I want to say it, but I figure we wait till last for it. But like, I'm gonna do it. Something?
Do it.
It's like proceed to the train. I think it went. I think that was how it went. Get to the chopper.
Everybody move toward the helicopter.
Form an orderly line towards the aerial transportation.
Arnold, do you want to try that again? Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper. And he says it a couple times, but the second time he says it is just, it's so good, so damn
Incredible.
good. Yeah. That's the quote from this movie, right?
For sure.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I guess for us, because we come from a very specific subculture that took him out with the heat seeker, it's probably the more iconic line among our community. But yeah, get to the chopper is definitely the line of the film.
Yeah. Took him out with the heat seeker.
Another good one. If it bleeds, we can kill it. That's one of my favorite ones.
That's fair. Yeah.
You have something to say about that too. The only character to get to the chopper is the girl who was their prisoner. How did she convince the chopper team that she was now on their team? We'll probably
you stole my probably unanswerable question right there.
Jumping ahead.
That was definitely an unanswerable questions. Wait, why would they just pick up this random girl? Oh yeah, it's cool. Dutch said I could get a ride with you guys. Don't worry about it.
Done and done. He does play well with others. Famously, he likes to work with other people, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, totally.
Any others?
Go ahead, Dan. You got another one.
Yeah, stick around when he stabs the guy, and it's like, he stabs through him. It's stabbing. It goes into the wall behind him, and stick around. Okay.
That's
fine.
the most 80s line in the film right there. That is definitely...
Yes.
Cool off! I would love to see, because it's weird, that knife sticks out of that dude quite a bit, and I would love to see, those people who redraw kids' drawings? That kind of, I would like to think that the end of his knife is a whole nother knife. Or it's like a javelin at the end.
Yeah, like that thing would have to be like what? Like a good 3 feet
fucking
long,
huge,
almost a meter.
Yeah, he uses it also as a knee brace, or like a splint because he's got a bad hip. It's fucking huge. It's real big, and the knife makes the weirdest sound when it goes through the dude too. It's so good. Love it. Yeah,
it's unless that person was made of wood, I don't feel like that might have been the appropriate sound.
Boing, 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 boing.
Like he just skipped all the wet organ scraping sounds and just went directly to the post behind them.
Amazing. What else?
You're one ugly motherfucker. It's got to be on there.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then I particularly like the final exchange between Dutch and the Predator. The "What the hell are you? What the hell are you?"
Right.
That's just cool because it's I don't know what you are. I don't know what you are either. You're just a weird heat dot to me.
I kind of missed that part. Maybe I wasn't paying enough attention. I think I missed that part. It was hard for me to try to listen to what the Predator was saying because a lot of it was.
It just mimics him. It just says, "What the hell are you?"
Right. Cool.
Any other best quotes we got?
I think that's it. I think we've hit all the high points.
Took them
I think
we can.
All right.
I think we move on.
Let's move on to the Jaunty Than Award for what age the best.
I reckon the ambience drums, I love it. It's so good. It's throughout the whole film, and like, yeah.
Oh, we have point of disagreement here.
You don't like it?
Fan can't control his face.
Yeah. Hey, Greybeard, what's up, man? Why are you making that? Why are you making that face?
So I actually had on my list of things that didn't age well was actually a lot of the music to me did not age well.
But
Oh, bro, this is classic Alan Silvestri, baby.
You didn't
So
like
just
the score on this? Some of it was off because it did sound a little like at parts Danny Elfman kind of but I thought for the most part it was pretty good.
so I personally I have a real problem with with the sound of
Music.
fuck off of like mid 80s synth drums, and there's a lot of mid 80s synth drums
So
in certain parts of of the score, and I have issues. It's a me problem. I understand it's a me problem. I get that. But for me, like there's a certain sonic palette that was used a lot during the 80s
Yes.
that to me just has not aged well
What?
in the slightest.
Well, okay, so it defined that 80s sound, right? And like the 80s sound for a long time people hated, and it's kind of come back into fashion.
Eh.
Yeah, but yeah, this was Alan Silvestri coming off Back to the Future. Those were like, I don't know if they were back to back films that he scored, but
Well, that
close
kind
together.
of explains like that more like jaunty sound in some of the scenes where you're like, this seems a little off.
What are you doing here? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you watch the two films like close to each other, there's definite overlap in the way that some of the themes are put together. But it's the same that I've commented with like Aliens and other James Horner soundtracks. Like you can tell that there are certain like beats and themes that composers are just like, I really love this particular sort of arrangement, so I'm going to throw this into another film also.
Biff's in the car park.
There's that cat again.
Horner was really rushed for Aliens as well, though. Right.
Yeah, which to me makes it more impressive. But I've already gone off of how much I love James Horner on a different pod. So
something that has aged quite good, which seemingly was a rarity for like 80s films, but people of color with major like co-lead roles. And I thought that Mac's character was probably the most interesting character in the film.
Mac is so good.
Oh, so good. So damn good. And so like and there was
I want a film that's just about Mac.
Oh, it would be amazing. But there's a whole sequence with him and Dylan. And like that whole sequence with them is just so good. I was like, wow, there's like two lead black actors that's and they're smashing it. It was so good. So damn good. And obviously it's something that's happening more and more now, which is fucking fantastic. But I think was kind of a rarity for the 80s, right? It's not a
for in the 80s it would have been a lot more common for as Ethan pointed out in chat, for there to be a token black actor, and for that token black actor to literally be the first person to die.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, it just, or
you have the relationship between the characters that it's like they have to make all kinds of references that are overtly racial in nature. Like these guys come from different worlds and they don't necessarily get along. Like, was 48 Hours made back in the 70s? I can't remember if that was late 70s or early 80s.
I think.
But that's like the most
Early
over
80s.
the top version that it's just like, ooh, that there's like some pretty uncomfortable racial dialogue in that. Like Lethal Weapon is the toned down version of that, where it's
Right.
like you have black actor, white actor, but there's still this whole kind of idea that it's like, yeah, these guys are from different worlds, and it's like there are definite racial like undertones to what's going on.
Yeah.
Whereas, they really don't talk about race at all in Predator.
No,
I
not
mean,
at
other
all.
than like the alien versus human race, but yeah, it makes it's like it's cool for representation purposes to see like you have Mac and Dylan as black actors, but the fact that they are black is just incidental.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was great. They were like actual characters rather than stereotypes, which was
They're not
Yes.
like stock or token characters.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
What aged
They
the
aren't.
best as
They
well?
aren't caricatures either.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. For sure.
For me, what aged the best is action movies in general. Still bloody great. Action movies are bloody great. Yeah, love them.
Well, and I think it's a fairly like tight script, and it's a tight plot line as far as an action movie goes. There really isn't anything, like I said, extraneous that happens. It's very linear. It's a simple story, but it's an action film.
Yeah.
What do you
It's
expect?
very on rails.
But it's like
Very on
you don't
rails.
have to you don't have to add all kinds of layers that seem like they're important but really aren't. Looking
What a
at you, Marvel
twist.
Cinematic Universe.
Hey, watch your mouth there, mate.
Yeah.
I did. I did. So, as far as things that aged well, also, I liked the fact that okay, yes, it is very on rails. They did not try to shoehorn some romance plot line into the
Yeah.
thing, because that was a huge '80s action movie trope of
Yeah, there was zero sexual tension between Anna and Dutch. Frankly, there was more sexual tension between Dutch and Dylan. So
Ooh, so many
So,
veins.
yeah, so wow, okay. So that I think actually aged super well in that, you know, you didn't try to shoehorn some sexual tension romance plot line into what's essentially a survival film.
yeah, I
So,
agree
yeah.
on that point. I have sort of a flip side counterpoint to that when we get to what age the worst, but we can save that for a minute.
Yeah, I've got
You
some
probably
stuff
know
on
where I'm going with this already.
I know you well enough that I'm
Chick.
pretty sure I know exactly where you're going.
So what else you
Um,
got for this one?
You kind of already mentioned it, Than, but to me, like the infrared vision is still incredibly badass, even though the tech and the graphics are really simplistic. I think the fact that it gives you that very alien view of the world is a really cool feature. And honestly, I think trying to add like more sophisticated technology to it would kind of make it worse. And I think people in chat already mentioned it. I don't remember if it was Frosthammer, Heathen, or somebody else just said, yeah, this was like before you just tried to throw everything CGI into it. Like when you didn't have that as an option, I feel like too many directors and producers now are using CGI as a crutch.
Yeah.
Like CGI is not a substitute for storytelling. The infrared vision in this, it's a simple practical effect, but it also serves the purpose of the narrative also.
It seems like such a low cost way to do it as well. Like, it's the sort of thing that indie filmmakers would use because their budget is like tiny, so they have to they have to be very conscious of
Dog.
how they.
Dog.
I was so
Dog.
distracted. I was like, "What is that?"
That's the Predator. Don't worry about it.
Anyway,
Yeah. What else got?
Just others like other practical effects that are used, especially the Predator mask, I think is really on point, is really well done. We'll get to more on that later because I have some stuff in half-ass internet research about how badly this almost went. But it looked like that definitely holds up as a
The
practical
mask
effect. It's
and-
just really good.
So the mask and or his face or both.
Both, like
Yeah.
the whole design. Well, I should say the secondary design of the costume, with first the helmet and then like the unmasking and seeing the actual prosthetics on the face itself.
Stan Winston is just
Yeah, exactly. Stan Winston is a god for sure. And I'll talk about some more of Stan Winston's credits for people who aren't as familiar later on.
I loved his fishnets; they were awesome. Any other ones?
We don't kink shame here.
No, not at all. That's what I'm saying. I love his fishnets.
This is like kind of a question more than a what age the best, but in rewatching it, I was like, is this movie actually secretly subversive of the macho action hero genre? Because I mean, you think about it, all the super buff dudes, they all get eliminated, other than Arnold, by the Predator. And when Arnold actually squares off with the Predator, he has to win with his brain, not with his muscles. He has to outsmart the Predator. Like, if you compare this with, I would say, like Rambo 2, like First Blood Part 2, basically in Rambo 2, like Rambo is the Predator. He's the one he's just hunting people down one at a time and just blowing everybody away using, superior technology and super over the top American patriotism to just re-win the Vietnam War by himself. Versus this, it's like, oh yeah, these are elite soldiers, but they're getting their asses kicked, and it's like you have to find a way to get back to basics and do that kind of stuff. So I'm like, is this a straightforward action film, or is this like kind of semi-subversive? I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
Did you know Adam Jones worked on sets of Jurassic Park and Terminator? I did not know that. That's awesome. That's Adam Jones of Tool fame.
Yes.
Yeah. He does all their videos, right? Their music videos, like all the claymation
Also,
stuff.
yes.
What up, Stu? What's going on, brother? Nice to see you. USA. Right.
That feels like a good segue into shit that aged poorly.
Yeah. So what aged the worst?
Oh,
Ben, you want to start us off?
Let us count the ways. So I've already mentioned, on a personal level, just some of the music and instrumentation has aged poorly for me.
Yeah, we'll really disagree on that point.
Yeah, and that's fine. It's a thing. Things that age poorly. Oh, look. Americans going covertly into a Central American nation. This won't end badly.
America just constantly fucking around in Central America in the 80s.
It's like, oh yeah, cool. Nope.
The audience doesn't even need context. Oh, the commandos are going to Central America. Cool. Yep, this is totally believable.
And Stallion actually made this comment in chat earlier about remember Afghanistan, trying to forget it. It's like, yep, that just kind of full circled. Sweet.
Whoops.
Okay. Yeah. Who knew that, 34 years later, that line was still going to be prescient? Okay.
Should have watched more Predator, George Bush.
Yeah, Bush. Yeah.
I got one more. And so we had the positive side of it was a relatively diverse cast as far as that all went. But my God, the Native American character as the tracker, really?
I love how
that's.
And I would argue that's maybe the thing that's aged least badly about Sonny Landham.
oh yeah, that's the only part of half-assed internet research I did. I saw a thing and I was like, "Ooh, I want to know more about this guy."
You're like, good. That could be a whole podcast in itself.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Sonny Landham. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but within the context of the movie, like there were so many things that it actually did pretty well as far as like not being traditional tropey, and then it does that. I'm like, but
yeah, that was a little on the nose, I guess.
Yeah. That was one of those things. Like the minute I saw it and he saw it, I was like, "Yep, that's an '80s. Yeah. There you go, right there."
So I thought his name was Poncho at the start of the film. I was like, "Oh,
no, Poncho's the other guy."
Yeah. Because I think that's probably more of an indictment of me because I heard someone say Poncho and then I saw that guy and I was like, "Ah." They called the Native American dude Poncho? Nope, they called him Billy.
No, they called the Mexican guy Poncho. That's much less offensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's like they wanted to just do Punch for sure, but they couldn't because they already had the Chips character from the 80s also. So it's like we got a Mexican dude. What's his name? Punch. Now we got to do something different. Pancho. Yeah, just throw an O on the end of it. There we go.
Genius.
Alright,
I had initially
somebody else go.
I had initially put Carl Weathers on this, but actually I'm gonna redact that. I think Carl Weathers has aged pretty well. Baby, you got a still going. It's so good, dude. That's like
We're gonna throw that out.
plenty meat on that bone. Yeah, that's like Carl Weathers just is so genius in Arrested Development. That's where I think I like him the most in that show. He's just so good.
And let's not forget Happy Gilmore also.
Yeah, I mean, it was great in Happy Gilmore. Yeah, Chubbs is a great character, but like, Carl Weathers is Carl Weathers. It's so damn good.
If you bring this into any Burger King, they gotta let you get a refill for free anytime you want.
Do you get a staff meal or you get discounted select items? I think that chewing tobacco has aged pretty poorly.
Fair.
Pretty poorly. It's so gross, dude. Yuck.
I'm a skull man.
And then, now
The homophobic slur that rhymes with
goodness me
with Bob Saget.
Everything that Shane Black says in the film.
Oh, it's so bad. Bunch of slack-jawed F words around here. It just cuts through the air like a terrible knife. It's so bad, and it cracks me up that you put in the quote that happens right after he says that as one of the best quotes of the movie.
Not that line. The one after it. Just cut that part out.
Don't look at that part, because it kind of flows on as one full thing.
Nope.
Yeah, it does.
Nope.
Nope. Yes. He literally talking about his jaw being strong because he chews tobaccos. That's what that line is. Yuck, then. Yuck.
Yes. I'm aware, but I chose to split it, and yeah, so there we go.
Oh, split it, and then that? Yeah.
In the TV edit, like some of the content may have been edited.
Fucking great context of this hand movement right here from you, Than.
Which is hilarious too, because I'm pretty sure the first time I saw this film, it was like the edited for TV version, and then I saw like the actual theatrical version. I'm like, holy shit, they definitely cut out a lot of stuff for TV here.
Well, so there's that.
I don't think Shane Black has any lines in the TV version.
Yeah, I'm not surprised because of his lines are terrible. So I showed before we went live today. I showed Dan that scene. And then basically Shane Black's 2 jokes that he makes during the film, and I'm just like, goodness me, that's aged so poorly, so bad.
It's like watching an Eddie Murphy routine from the early '80s. You're just like, oh god.
Yeah, G.I. Joe. Yeah. So
and like the Shane Black jokes, like I'm trying to put myself like, okay, even if I had seen this 20 years ago, like they weren't funny.
Oh, I would have found
for starters.
I would have found the second one hilarious, but that's just because I'm a terrible person. And we grow and we change. We grow and we change.
But yeah, but yeah. Look, hearing both of those now in current context and with everything, it's like cringe. Nothing but cringe with those.
It is very, as the kids would say, cringe. It is not very woke.
I think also,
to say the least.
Arnie and Jesse the Body Ventura have also aged pretty poorly since this movie.
You
specifically
mean physically or
yeah.
Okay.
Especially Jesse Ventura. Goodness me, he looks like the Crypt Keeper these days. It's terrifying.
That's the difference between a ribeye steak and dried out jerky.
He was quite a big jerky in this movie too.
It is 34 years on.
Yeah.
Since this movie was unreleased. So
yeah.
And they were in their, mid late 30s at the time this was filmed. So
Yeah, I'm just saying.
you know,
Just saying. That, if you
Yeah,
start
early
as
mid-30s.
an Adonis, the only way you have is down, right? Yeah, that's right.
Father Time is undefeated.
That's right. Except for Tom Brady. We're
Correct.
still working on him. What else?
get
Did
there
you
eventually.
People will come for him sooner or later.
yeah. Did you have any
There,
other ones?
somewhere there's a picture of Tom Brady in an attic getting older someplace.
Yeah.
That was a high level joke for
Oh,
everybody.
I liked it. What's
Well,
the guy's name?
yeah.
Something Gray?
Yeah,
Yeah. Can't remember.
picture of Dorian Gray.
Dorian Gray, that's the one.
So the flip side to what Than was talking about like them not shoehorning in any romantic subplots. I mean, that's also because this is like an absurdly male movie.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that Anna, the girl that they from the unit they take captive, I think she's the only woman in the film at all. Certainly, the one with any kind of real screen time.
Yeah.
And she has what, like 3 lines?
Something like that.
I tried to count.
on
Not very
screen.
many.
She's on screen a decent amount.
Yes.
Well, not a decent amount. But she's certainly on screen
Okay.
more than she has lines.
Okay, but my point being that it would not have been surprising at the time, for even with the limited amount of screen time and limited amount of lines, for there to try to be a shoehorned romantic plot with her.
Yeah.
That was my point.
Yeah.
And okay, maybe it's a low bar that they didn't because of how the movie is structured, but it's still I still wouldn't have put it beyond the realm of possibility. So
Still definitely doesn't pass the Bechdel test.
No, not even close.
no.
Yeah, I feel like if this is made in 2021, probably at least 2 people in the unit would have to be women.
Yeah, well,
The way
up
that you
until
make it?
recently, they would have had Gina.
Yeah, I actually had that in my notes. I was like, I mean, you could still throw in Gina Carano. I mean, she hasn't said stuff that's half as offensive as some of the stuff Sonny Landham has said.
I was
you could
struggling.
throw her back in.
I was struggling with a recast for Blaine. She'd be perfect.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's honestly what I was thinking. I was like,
That's
probably
great.
like
That'd be awesome, actually.
Blaine, maybe Mac and Blaine would both be women in the remake. I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe
we'll
we can
get
get to
there.
that in
We'll get
recasting
there.
couch. We'll
Yeah.
think about it.
Did you have any other one?
so-
Any more for What Age the Worst?
That was like the main one. I had basically the same thing as Stan, where it's just America fucking around in Central America in the 80s. It's just like I imagine the writers sitting around just doing hits of coke under a portrait of Ronald Reagan, being like, "Where can we just set this where the audience doesn't need any context? Just throw some fucking green berets in a Central American jungle. There we go,
Yeah, buddy. America.
All right,
America."
number 5.
Number 5, the Desanker heat check performance for the actor who wasn't in a lot of scenes but put up big numbers every time.
I didn't realize we had changed it to DK.
Yeah, that was after the triple threat tournament.
Amazing. I struggled with this one.
This one's tough because most of the characters have a fair amount of screen time.
Yeah, I put Shane Black.
So-
Maybe.
He's definitely trying to put up some numbers, that's for sure.
Yeah.
He's failing miserably, but he's trying.
Maybe that's.
I was gonna say, maybe he goes in the next category.
Yeah, he's certainly a candidate for the next category. I think maybe that's credit to the filmmakers. They put all of the good actors and made sure they gave them all like good equal amounts of screen time. Well, I use good like good actors.
It's a relative term when you're talking about an 80s action movie. It's accurate. Yeah.
But did you guys have anyone for this?
Well, I think Bill Duke is the obvious nominee.
Yeah.
That's Mac. Because Mac
But he has
steals the
heaps.
scene every time he's on screen.
So I had him initially
Yeah.
as well, but he actually, as the film went on, I was like, okay, they've put him in a lot of this film. Like he's in a lot of he's like maybe the 3rd most screen timed character in this film.
Because you could say it's like, oh yeah, well he gets killed off halfway through the film, but so does everybody except
Yeah.
for Arnold Schwarzenegger. So
Yeah.
it's like that's going to rule out most of the characters in the film.
Yeah, but yeah, probably him, because he was I thought he was the best in this movie.
Yeah. I'd go that.
At least in terms of acting, because he's like a real actor. He has a long list of credits.
Yeah.
I guess my question is, does Kevin Peter Hall as the Predator count
I
for
don't
this
think
thing?
so.
Because I mean, yeah, it's like you can make the case, is the main antagonist of the film. That's not really a heat check. But if you just total up the amount of time the Predator is actually on screen, it's under 10 minutes for the entire film, even including the last fight scene.
But maybe that's why
So, I mean,
that's why it seems that he's so good in that role, because of all the build up of not seeing him on screen.
yeah. Well, it's the same principle of Jaws. It's like the shark is scarier mostly because you don't see it that much. So
true.
it's like when it finally comes on screen, you're like, oh my god, there it is.
Yeah. Classic Don't Show the Shark. Yeah, there you go.
Exactly.
All right. I don't know if these are clear winner for this category. We can.
So we'll go with Mac.
I think so.
Yeah. I think that I don't have anybody else that I'd really put in that place. So yeah. So moving on.
Number 6.
All right. We got the chair throwers overacting award for the actor who dialed up to 100.
I'm working off old notes here because I had the Matthew Hogan overacting award, but chair throwers.
That's the chair throwers overacting award.
See,
I feel like we also have no shortage of nominees here.
I can't. My first one I had in here was Bill Duke, because he there's a couple of scenes where he chews the scenery harder. It's awesome. Gotcha!
I was gonna say in one instance he like almost literally chews up the scenery with Old Painless. I just call it like the creative gardening scene.
That was my nickname in high school. Yeah, that was my first choice. Did you guys have any other ones? I mean,
everything that Shane Black does in the film.
Yeah, I mean,
every single line he delivers.
All like 2 of them.
He starts out so cool though when the dude throws the face black at him or whatever he throws at him, and he's reading a comic and he just like snatches it out of the air. I was like, "Ooh, this guy's cool." Turns out not so much.
Yeah, but I mean, if the whole point of this is it is the person who is overacting the most, as it were, then I feel like he wins it, because he's overacting, but at the same time it's falling flat, even though he's like trying to overact.
Right.
So it's like that's even worse. Yeah, exactly. You're trying to dial it up to 100, and here you are, and you're saying these really fucking offensive things, and you're doing it so badly. I don't know. I have a hard time like giving this award to anybody else.
Right.
At that point, I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
Steve, can we just like replace Shane Black with Al Pacino's character from Heat?
She's got a big pussy.
I just had coffee with the Predator half hour ago.
Heat's so good. If you haven't watched Heat, kids, watch Heat. I only watched it for the first time recently. Great film. And this format of this podcast, this format of this show, quick shout out to what's the channel on YouTube?
The Ringer.
The Ringer channel.
Yep.
And I think
basically Heat is the film that started it all.
Yeah. So if you should go check them out because they're way better than we. Yeah, they get paid professionally to do this shit. 160 cover cases.
We're definitely the Wish version of the rewatchables.
Sure. Right. Should we move on to number 7?
My only other nominee would be Carl Weathers gets his arm blown off.
Oh, it's so good.
Ah!
But he's got an acting school, so he knows what he's doing.
He must know what he's doing.
Yeah, he must know what he's doing. Oh, that's exactly the amount of money it is to take my acting class. Oh, love it.
Okay, so 7, we got the recasting couch. We can also, kind of roll us in with casting what ifs. Probably most people know that Jean-Claude Van Damme was originally cast as the Predator. Had the outfit on, shot several scenes and stuff like that. There are several different stories about why he did not complete the filming. the most favored theory that people have brought up being that he was too short for the role, since he's not much taller
5'9"?
than I am, and
Yeah.
I am not a particularly tall gentleman myself.
Like that's not a good role for a big name actor, or at least like a marquee actor. I don't know if he was at that point.
He was.
But yeah, like, because you never
When was Bloodsport made?
Before 87.
I feel like that's
I'm pretty
around
sure.
this time.
right.
Yeah, this is in that wheelhouse of time where he was a thing.
Yeah, so they would have bought
You
him
had,
in
you had to
purely
save that for the Expendables.
they would have purely brought him in for name recognition on the poster, right? People are like, oh, yeah, Jean-Claude Van Damme's in this. Is he?
We just have more shots of like the Predator like doing the splits between two trees, probably.
So, much like all the other rewatchables that we do, I've gone for reasonably current actors because that's kind of what we were doing, right? If you were to recast this movie today, or you guys approach it a little differently.
Well, you could do it two ways. Could you recast it based on actors who are possible at the time, and if you were making it today, like
Yeah.
who would you cast? Because my only note would be, I mean, I think Kevin Peter Hall did a great job as the Predator from a physicality standpoint. I think like another fun version of this is if you cast Dolph Lundgren as the Predator. I think it could have been cool also, because also has a good physicality, and
Okay.
then he could be 2 for 2 for killing Carl Weathers in a film.
Time Cop Sudden Death Predator? Fuck yeah. Damn. Stupid COVID junk. So you guys could go first, because I've taken if we were gonna approach it from today's standpoint. You guys can go first if you want.
Well, I mean, we brought up if we were gonna cast like some women in some of the roles for the people in the unit, and again, we like rule out Gina Carano.
I mean, honestly, she'd make the perfect what's his face? Blaine. She'd be great in that role, cause she kind of looks like Jesse Ventura. She's got a Jesse Ventura chin.
Yeah. Let's just pretend she issued a nice public apology and she's been reaccepted into society and she can play Blaine in our remake.
Well, that's the thing. Like, even if she had said this terrible horse shit that she had said, but it happened in the 80s, she still would have got cast in this movie. Actually, no, she wouldn't. She's
Well, yeah, she wouldn't have been cast for a different reason.
yeah.
Because even what she said wasn't half as bad as some of the stuff Sonny Landham said.
Well, like, Shane Black would make the joke. She'd be like, up to. Yeah. I don't know. Who else you got?
Well, if we're gonna recast the Shane Black character as a fast talking, foul mouthed lady actor, who will we go with?
I don't know.
Tough one. Because it's got to be somebody who has some like good physicality to them. So it's like, as much as I love like Melissa McCarthy, you can't cast her in that role. She's not exactly believable as a Green Beret.
What's maybe the chick from the Black Widow film who plays Widow's sister? She's an MMA fighter, right?
Yelena Belova? No.
Yep. Maybe. You cast Ronda Rousey. I mean, you kind of need like fighters. You need fighters if they're going to be believable as this elite.
I mean, again,
Green
that was
Beret,
like how
right?
Gina Carano got into it anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Do you have anyone? Should we go through character by character? Should we do it that way? Who you guys would cast
Yeah, I
for
guess
each
so.
character? So I mean, let's start with Dutch. Who have you guys got for Arnold Schwarzenegger's character Dutch?
So if you're casting it today, see, this is what. Again, I was going off the old rules. I have to think about this. So
You could do.
You guys can
you
give me
could
your
do
nominees
old
here while I
rules
think
if you
about
want.
it.
Who would you have cast instead?
That was the whole thing that I had difficulty with coming up to this. Was it does seem pretty well cast. Dolph Lundgren was the biggest thing that I brought up, and I just thought that would be interesting.
Yeah.
Mostly because of the Carl Weathers connection. And Stallion, no.
That's
In that same vein, though, if I were recasting Dutch, I would probably go with The Rock, because The Rock still needs that kind of credit for him. Because does The Rock really have an iconic movie character yet? I don't feel like he does. Like I guess
The Rock
I guess
is-
his character in the Fast and Furious films.
Yeah, but he's kind of him. He's the Rock. He's the Rock in that movie. Marvel kind of, but like
But Arnold is Arnold.
yeah, exactly. Like they are bigger than the characters that they play. But I have both John Cena and The Rock on my list as people that I would cast as Dutch.
Maybe John Cena can be Dylan.
I have someone. I got someone in mind for Dylan. But yeah, did you have anyone then?
So, because I only, watched this afternoon, I've got literally nothing
That's
in
cool.
this category whatsoever. So, I will just, make, pot shop comments at both of your guys' suggestions and we'll go from there because yeah, I just didn't.
Idris Elba
it
too
didn't.
old. Possibly you could maybe consider him, but he's. I don't know if I've seen him as like a big Green Beret type. Jason Statham because fuck yeah, same deal. I cast Jason Statham as like one of the like side characters, like he kind of is in The Expendables. He's like Barney's sidekick, kind of.
Jason Statham is Poncho.
For Dylan, I've got a couple. I have Mark Coulter, who played Luke Cage in the Luke Cage series. And I also had is it Yahya Abdul Mateen II, who was from Aquaman. He played Manta in Aquaman. Yeah,
okay.
and or if you haven't seen that, he was on that show The Get Down. Who played Cadillac. He would have been cool as that role because he's got enough like bulk to pull off being like an elite marine, but he's also got the same kind of smarm to pull off the CIA op. I quite like him for one of those roles.
I almost feel like if I were gonna go with somebody who's maybe a little bit older, more established, but still in the action genre, as like a callback for the Dylan character, I kind of want to throw in just because we all know I'm a fan of Michael Biehn. Maybe throw in Michael Biehn as Dylan.
One does not simply walk into South America. Wait,
No,
Michael
Michael
Biehn? That's
Biehn
Sean Bean. Who's
from,
Michael
from
Biehn?
Aliens? Yeah, not from Aliens. Hicks.
Who? The like main white dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
The hero white guy.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. I'm with you.
Someone
Are
is
you
not in the
sure?
bean hive with me.
I'd love to see Sean Bean in that role. Be awesome. You just want to see Bruce Willis punch the Predator, or in turn get punched by the Predator, bro. DeviantArt. That's where you can see that. Hit the DeviantArt. Bill Paxton.
You mean? I mean,
Bill Paxton's in
dead.
Predator too, though.
Yeah.
I think this got brought up in like the original the flagship Rewatchables show. I think when they did Terminator, they talked about Bill Paxton has the distinction of being the only person who's been killed on screen by an alien, a Terminator, and a Predator.
That's awesome.
Like that's a good legacy right there, Bill
Oh
Paxton.
yeah.
That's pretty fantastic.
You only want to click away from things. Right. Do you have anyone else for Dylan?
If we were gonna go with somebody else in like the wrestling genre, if you said you were gonna cast The Rock and John Cena, because I know The Rock isn't black like Carl Weathers, but you still have sort of then you have like the ethnic reversal where Dylan's the smarmy white guy and
Yeah.
and The Rock is ambiguous ethnicity main hero.
He's not ambiguous. It's Pacifica. You
Well,
jerk.
no, not in real life, but I feel like some of his casting has just been like somebody who's like not really white, but you can't really necessarily say for sure.
Yeah.
It's like him and Fred Armisen and Jason Momoa are all in that category.
Oh, Miss Guzzi. All right, Mac. Who have you got for Mac?
Mac's got to be a good actor. right? Because we know that Bill Duke has the real acting chops among this cast.
I had a good one for this
So,
one.
so maybe here's where you bring in Idris Elba.
Maybe. I reckon Yahya Abdul-Mateen could play this role as well. But there's an actor by the name of Bokeem Woodbine. Bokeem Woodbine was in... do you ever watch the Fargo series?
No.
I have not seen it.
He was in series 2. He played a character called Mike Milligan, and he was also in Spider-Man: Homecoming. He was the guy who wore the shock glove. He's the black dude that wore the shock glove, and if you googled him, you'd probably recognize him. He is an awesome actor, and he's got that same kind of like the Matt
Presence.
character has but the Matt character is kind of like, off a little bit, off in a different plane. So he could pull that off really good. He'd be awesome in that role.
Maybe. Kind of in that same vein, who I might go with would be John Boyega.
Ooh, yeah, he's a good actor.
Yes. Despite what you may have seen in Star Wars, he's a good actor.
I thought he was alright at that.
You can only work with what you're given.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say for what he was given in those movies, he did pretty fucking fantastic. So, yeah.
I'd want to cast Michael B. Jordan in one of these roles as well, but I don't think in that role.
He might have to play Dutch. I think he's too big at this point. So
he'd be pretty cool as Dutch. He'd be pretty awesome Dutch.
But he's almost too young though.
Yeah, that's the thing. You would need an all young
actually
cast.
how old is Michael B. Jordan now? He probably is. He might be the same age that Arnold Schwarzenegger was when he made.
Yeah,
no,
but
Arnold was older than that.
In the 80s, they all looked like old people, even though they were young. He still looks not baby face, I guess. You like Jonathan Majors?
It's a paradox because it's he's probably too big of an actor, but he also doesn't seem old enough to play somebody who is a blooded major in a Green Beret unit. So I guess he has to be one of the other characters. So yeah, he could be Mac also.
Yeah.
Man, we're getting all-star cast here for our Predator remake.
Well, if you're gonna cast him, then you cast what's his name, who played Spider-Man as as Hawkins.
Tom Holland,
yeah. You get Tom Holland to play Hawkins. It makes him terrible.
Yeah, he could be Hawkins.
Yeah.
Just shift
Tobey
the
Maguire?
MCU into Predator. It's fine. Shift the MCU into Predator. It's fine.
Jonathan Majors looks familiar to me. Oh, he was in Loki. Oh, he was so good in Loki.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He'd be great as that character. Right on. Blaine. Blaine I struggled with. I really like the
Blaine. We already said that we're gonna do a makeshift universe where Gina Carano doesn't make inappropriate Holocaust comparisons, and she's okay to cast in the film. She has to play Blaine.
She'd be great in that role. But the only other name that I put here was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Wow. Okay. Wow. Okay.
He's gonna recast all WWE characters.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, it was Jesse the Body Ventura. What are you gonna do? Yeah, Stone Cold Steve Austin or Gina Carano. They're both the same.
Totally.
I've got a couple more. I've got 3 more characters because I couldn't remember the other ones. Billy, who is the tracker character.
Yep.
I have I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think it's Zahn McLaren. Again, he was in Fargo, and he was in Doctor Sleep, and also has a role in. I don't know if you guys have seen.
Oh, I know who you're talking about now.
Yeah, have you guys seen Reservation Dogs? Their show?
No.
It's
No, but I've seen Doctor Sleep, and that's honestly one of my biggest pleasant surprise films I've seen in probably the last 3 years.
Good,
where
man.
I went into it not really knowing what to expect. I'm like, wow, this film's really good.
Yeah, it was real cool. Stone Cold Steve Austin goes hand to hand with the Predator for a good 10 seconds on equal footing till he gets blasted by the cannon, then drinks a beer.
He goes to give him the stunner and just gets shot through the chest by the cannon.
But yeah, so he would be awesome in that role because he's dude, you have to watch Fargo. The first 2 seasons of Fargo are so good, and he is exceptional in that show. Yeah, I think, and again, you know, you're casting another native actor as the tracker, but if you're gonna buy into that trope, go with him because he's scary. It's awesome. Except in
Or you want
Reservation
to
Dogs.
lighten it up a little bit, you could cast Taika Waititi.
Hey, I think there's something in the bushes. What happened to the helicopter? Oh, it looks like a crash day.
I almost stepped on him.
Oh, I don't know what's happened to these guys. They look like they don't have any skins on anymore. Fuck yeah, you've got me.
I like it for a little comic relief.
You've got me. I want him as that in that role. Hey, Predator, stop being a dick. Have you got anyone for that? Did you have any more for any of these actors, or did I go too far with this
Like,
one?
we keep making jokes about like importing people from the MCU, but it's so huge that it's like most actors are going to gone through that farm system at some point or another. So if we're going to go for another like actress who has good physicality, I could also like make a case for Tessa Thompson,
Who's Tessa Thompson?
Valkyrie
Oh yeah.
Oh,
from
yeah.
Ragnarok.
Yeah. She's awesome.
And also their connection with Michael B. Jordan because she's in the Creed films.
Yeah.
So there we go, full
There you go.
circle.
Uh,
And she'll give us better karma than Gina Carano will. So there we go.
it was there
Correct.
one moment.
So she could be Poncho.
And these guys' skins went missing. No idea. Hawkins. Tom Holland.
Yeah, I was gonna say we already decided on Tom Holland. So
I had
some
a-
other just
I
like
had,
somebody who's obviously a fish out of water.
I had Zachary Levi as this role.
Okay.
Actually, that's not bad.
Yeah. I quite like that one.
Because he is a big goofball.
Yeah, but like you could put him in that role. He'd be a big offensive goofball. Can we go full Eddie Murphy and everyone is Tom Holland?
Loosen. Tom Holland.
Just don't put Tom
Dutch
Holland in
is
Dutch.
Tom Holland. The Predator is Tom Holland.
Freddie Muniz.
He should be the Predator because no one's seen him for the last 10 years.
Yo, he's retired. They should put never mind. The last one I had to replay the Predator. If you're gonna recast the Predator, I put here Steven Adams.
Yes, I'm down. I am down. Yes,
so
Steven
good.
Adams is 100% the Predator.
That's my recasting couch. That's who I got for that.
Yeah, because I was like, I would probably try to pick somebody who's like from the NBA, so can have that same super tall physicality.
Yeah.
So I think Steven Adams is as good a choice as anyone else.
Or what's his face from Dune slash.
Jason Momoa.
There we go. Jason Momoa. But he's like a
Yeah, he wouldn't even have to change his hair.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
already got like you just put the dreadlocks back in.
Exactly
He'd be
right.
fine.
Tom Holland is.
No, I like Steven Adams better.
Yeah, me too. Talk
Jason
about
Momoa's
bounty hunter.
he's gotta have that mug on screen.
I am
Oh,
the
Blueson's on
dog.
fire here.
You see that he
Gibbo.
recently tried to involve himself in a manhunt for an actual like wanted
Brian
criminal-
Laundrie?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, short aside, that was like one of my favorite. I mean, it's kind of inappropriate, but memes. That was like the disappointed coach, and it said like alligators who have to give all the credit to the police for finding Brian Laundrie. Anyway,
Frankie Muniz is a full professional race car driver now. Excellent. You'd have to write an
Interesting.
encounter between Adams and Waititi though. Hey, bro. What are you do? Oh, you'd have to do the log bridge scene with when he fights the Predator on that log bridge and he like cuts across his chest. Ow, 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 ow. Awesome. All right.
it'd have to be an obligatory scene where he like kicks Steven Adams in the balls too.
Oh, did I kick you in the dick? Sorry about that, bro. All right. Let's go to 8.
Let's go to half-ass internet research.
Yeah. I didn't do any.
So So we'll get the obvious thing out of the way here. That surprisingly, this may be the most politically successful cast of any film ever made, as two of its actors would go on to serve as governors in the United States. Our old boy Sonny Landham, he tried to make it three. He ran for governor, then he tried to run for senator in Kentucky. Maybe we won't get into his political views or his political platform. Suffice to say, he kind of got blackballed for certain inappropriate comments.
Yeah, you're revealing
so
too many
if we can just get Carl Weathers to run for president in 2024, we'll be all set.
He'd be like, "What's your plan for welfare? Oh, baby, you got a stew going.
You just gotta throw in a couple of bones. You got a stew going, baby.
You don't throw that away. Plenty of meat left on that bone." Dude.
Yeah, if you guys want to, Disco Stew. If you guys want to just Google Sonny Landham political campaigns, get ready for a ride here.
Just like look at what he's been up to just his whole life. This is
pretty much.
That was the one thing. So I was like, I should probably look into this a little more. Because I've never bring any internet research to the table, but I never do because Fireball DK always carries the team. So our team gets top marks and I don't have to do any work. But I did look at Sonny Landham, who was apparently, I don't know if you had this, DK, he was an ex-porn star in the 70s.
Indeed he was.
And did you see the thing about the hiring bodyguards for him on set?
Yeah, you call them bodyguards. I call them babysitters.
So they hired him. They hired him bodyguards on set, and they were like, "Well, it's not really to protect him; it's to protect the cast from him." What the fuck, man?
Yeah, that was my half-ass.
Sorry,
research was basically, so he needed babysitters so that he didn't randomly fly off the handle and attack people on set. Cool. Okay, that's awesome.
Dude. Yeah.
Totally.
Like just earlier this week, I was watching Vice, the biopic about Dick Cheney. I'm like, if we're gonna make a biopic about some people with a questionable past, can we just get a Sonny Landham biopic? I would watch the shit out of that.
Fucker, yeah.
That would just be that would be a more action-packed thrill ride than Predator.
Feel free to carry this section there, DK, because that's all I have.
And did you have anything else that you found from IMDb?
I mean, some of the stuff that we've already covered around, Jean-Claude Van Damme was originally in the movie as the Predator, and the various reasons for why he was no longer in the movie. You'd mentioned the comment because he was too short was one of the reasons.
That was one that was good.
That was one of the others that I saw was that he basically bounced because he wasn't gonna actually be on screen at all. Like you weren't gonna be able to see his face.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Like, why would you pay? Why would you pay like a named actor or a big name actor what they would charge, and not show their face? It doesn't make any sense.
So, I mean those I think were like some of the more interesting things that I saw as I was skimming through
Steven Seagal
stuff. But
yeah, there were other stories that he had a filming conflict, which is the usual, I think, bullshit that Hollywood always puts out for when somebody gets fired from a film. Yeah. Oh yeah, they had a conflicting schedule. We couldn't make it work. Kit.
I have Kit. Fine. Kit, you're going to be Kit Kim. There's going to be Kit Kim now. Look.
It's the Predator.
The Kit Kim.
It was scarier when you didn't show it.
I know. Well,
it's just
now and
quite a big one that you have there.
what I
Chungus.
love about this is that she's just like, oh, I am resigned to my fate of being internet famous here briefly.
Don't suck me into your bullshit, Dad.
Yeah.
there.
So yeah, so Sunny Landham, there's a whole wave of stuff about that. So we can put that to one side. But speaking though of the Predator, Kevin Peter Hall, the guy who did end up playing the Predator, he reprised his role in the second film. He was also in Harry and the Hendersons. If you ever watched that, he was the guy in the Sasquatch suit.
Really?
He does show his face on screen in the film. They gave him he's the helicopter pilot at the end, so they gave him a chance to actually have his actual face on screen and not just under the Predator mask. Which to me, I'm like, that would have been even funnier if you cash on Claude Van Damme as the Predator and you don't show his face on screen at all, except for like 3 seconds at the end as the helicopter pilot. That would have been better.
That would have been fantastic.
So that part's the fun part. Less fun part, sad story, was not around for later incarnations of the film because he died in the early 90s. He contracted HIV from getting a blood transfusion and passed away at the age of, he was like 34, 35, something like that.
Oh, that's sad. Andy Serkis is
that
a
was sad
Predator,
times.
and he makes all the noises. That'd be great.
Well, we didn't have Andy Serkis, but another famous voice actor did provide the voice and sound effects for the Predator. Was Peter Cullen, probably best known as Optimus Prime from most of the Transformers universe. So
Dang.
famous voice actor in his own right. But yeah, he did the voice and vocal effects for the Predator, and he based the cat purring sound that Steve makes, the little Predator trill thing that he does. He said he based it on this weird gurgling sound that a horseshoe crab makes when you turn them over. I guess it's like air escaping from their little pockets or whatever. It makes that weird like sound.
What a psycho.
And that's what he based the thing on, was the gurgling sound of a horseshoe crab. Fun fact there.
It's my new ringtone.
Yeah, you just hear that go off in the middle of the night, and you're like, oh,
Oh,
shit, it's in the room.
I used to have it set to mail, motherfucker, but like that would happen at nighttime. My phone would scream at me, and it would scare the shit out of me. Yeah. All right.
Problematic.
You're saying
So other Carl Weather stuff. Apparently, there was, funnily enough, get all these guys together. There were some interesting contests and feats of strength, shall we say, that went on behind the scenes of guys trying to out-macho one another. Carl Weathers supposedly tried to one-up everybody he would wake up at 3 a.m. and work out like in the middle of the night because he didn't want to lift weights in front of the other actors. He wanted them to think that basically he could stay like bulky and cut just on his like God-given natural physique. It's like, I don't even need to lift weights. Look at, I already got my pump on showing up to set early. If you get up at 3 a.m. to go lift weights.
3 a.m. is a good time to get a stew going.
Yep, so he just tossed on the stew, did some curls, just head off to...
Yeah, rummage through like Arnie's trash from the night before and be like, oh, plenty of meat still on that bowl. Babe, you got a stew going. Arnie shipped over his
the glowing predator blood. Anybody want to guess what that was made out of?
I did see this, so it was glow stick fluid and something else. Like they'd actually break the glow sticks open and use that, but there was something else that they used on top.
They combined it with KY jelly to give it that nice lustrous kind of appearance.
So
and there are some rumors, I haven't got confirmation on this, but this is of course half-ass internet research. There were some rumors they also combined it with a popular soft drink. I'm sure most people can probably guess what it is.
Is it...
The only other one that looks like radioactive waste.
Yes, Dr. Pepper. No, just joking.
So rumors were that they combine it with Mountain Dew.
Right. See, that's where I went wrong. I don't know if I've told this story on the podcast before. Years and years ago, before I'd like got together with my wife, I'd met her at a party. Or at least was introduced to her at a party. And at that party, I'd broken open a glow stick and put it through my hair because I thought that was going to be a really cool thing to do. And instead of being cool, it dripped down and burnt my eyeballs. So if you're going to do it, KY jelly is the secret ingredient. I think that's probably the better way to go. Dan was not impressed. He thought I was an idiot.
Well,
I feel like if they've like mishandled if they mishandled like one of King's bags at the airport, that's just what it would come out looking like. It's like, oh no, the glow stick and KY jelly got all over the place.
I like the
Sorry, King.
I like the implications that that's all he takes on holiday.
I mean, I don't necessarily
I think we have the
that's wrong,
text
though.
to prove it.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much.
Oh,
You go, dope
and this-
eyeballs up.
and-
Thank you.
and anybody who doesn't know 2K is going,
Oh,
what?
that's so
No,
funny,
oh,
dude.
that's
That joke was just for you guys.
Oh, I loved it. That is one of my favorite jokes ever.
as always, we do the show for ourselves. If other people are entertained, that's a nice byproduct, but we do the show for ourselves.
You are just all along for the ride.
That's right.
Pretty much.
So they basically had to reshoot the last 30 minutes of the movie with basically just Arnold and Kevin Peter Hall together, alone in the jungle, because the Predator suit looked pretty broke when they first engineered it. What you see on screen is the second or possibly third version of the Predator suit, because it looked pretty bad until they brought in, as Stein mentioned, practical effects wizard Stan Winston. So if you're not familiar with Stan Winston, he was also the genius behind a number of other practical effects for films like Terminator, Aliens, Jurassic Park, Edward Scissorhands. So basically most of the good movies of the 80s and 90s, if you saw a practical effect, you're like, wow, that looks really cool. It was probably designed by Stan Winston.
So do we have samples?
So we do. We have some pictures here that I can show
Let me,
of some versions of the original Predator suit.
Let me switch to this.
Yeah, tell me when you're set up and
There we
I'll
go.
share.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay. Let's see if I can do this. I think it's this one. Nope, not that one. Where's my photo viewer? Why is it not coming up?
Obviously we did a lot of prep on this before the show to make this seamless for
All right, give me one
watching
sec.
audience.
I can fucking fix this.
Wait,
Fucking with yourself for
whilst you do
2
that,
seconds here.
I'm gonna share my screen so that you guys can see the actor I was talking about before, Bokeem Woodbine.
Yes,
I don't
please
know
do.
if this guy is familiar to you all. None of that's helpful. Go away. Yeah, I thought he would have made an awesome Mac.
That's really hard to see on stream, Steve-O.
Yeah, I'm getting there, mate. Getting there.
Well, get there faster.
Good picture.
I know, that's what she said.
That's Dave Chappelle. This guy here. Do you guys recognize this guy at all? For those, it's part of it. Bigger please, G&D.
Oh yeah, okay, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. He's awesome. There we go. This was him in Fargo, and yeah, he just killed it in this role. If you haven't watched Fargo the series, I 100% recommend it. And yeah, Gibbo, you're 100% right. He was so good in Fargo. He was in season 2, I think. Killed it. So good. And when you watch it, you'll be like, yeah, that guy would make an awesome Mac. Right, what do you got?
Okay, I think I'm good. I'm good to go here. I got
Cool.
I got a solution we can do.
Nice.
All right, here we go. All right, can we see that?
Not yet. Is he the guy from Get Out? No. Oh no!
Wait, so now it did pop up in photo viewer. Okay, this is what I want to show. Okay, so this actually is Jean-Claude Van Damme in the original Predator suit that you can see here. So they did film some stuff with him, but yeah, it's got like this weird dog anteater head of some sort here.
I mean, it does look.
I don't really know how to describe that.
It does look more alien, I think. Like more alien than the Predator looks with his mask on. Until you take his mask off and you're like, okay.
It looks like it looks like a bad Geiger version.
Yeah, kinda.
Of something.
It's Geiger.
Yeah, it it looks like they try to take the design language from the Geiger xenomorphs in Aliens and turn it into more bipedal something, and failed miserably. Like that is
This looks more like something that could be on like Stargate SG-1.
this is
Like it's got that Sci-Fi Channel
yeah.
budget feel to it.
It's the
Yeah,
live action
like-
version of the dog from Nightmare Before Christmas. Is what this is. Is the live action version of that dog.
Of Zero? Yeah,
yeah.
kind of.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
in order to get the invisibility effect on the Predator, they basically did almost like a reverse green screen. Since they were mostly shooting against a green jungle backdrop, they had to make a copy of this suit that was all red. So you basically do the same thing where you just filter out negative image with, the opposite color of what you're using. So rather than using like a green suit against a normal background like they do with a lot of motion capture stuff, they had to make a red version of the suit. So looks like that. I mean, that's great. Wouldn't you love to be acting right alongside that while you're shooting your scenes?
that's like a
Seeing that up in the trees.
Star Trek villain. It's awesome.
Original series
Yeah.
Star Trek. Let's be very clear.
This is Wish Gorn.
What's with the carrying handle on the front of the suit before? It's carrier friendly. When he gets tired, his little legs get tired.
Yeah,
That's what that is.
for sure.
Were there any more
Yeah,
photos?
I think there's another, and here's another version of the suit
See, it looks
with
better
Carl
no-
Weathers.
It
Looks a little bit
better
better.
with no one in it.
Looks a little bit better that way, but yet still not the same
That-
effect.
Yeah.
Doesn't have the same feel to it.
Yeah, that's and here's the thing. Like had that been the thing that had been on screen, like you get 30 odd years later, and maybe people think that's cool because that was that's their imprinted memory of it, as it were. I don't think so though, because that is just not. It's just not.
Like if I could compare it to another Arnold Schwarzenegger film, like if you think about the second Conan movie that he made, Conan the Destroyer, like the monster he fights at the end, it just is this horrible, rubbery, not at all interesting thing. This suit kind of reminds me of that. Like it doesn't have any good moving pieces. It just kind of would lumber around and stuff like that. It would probably have to just kind of like limply claw things at the air. It wouldn't have the same feel to it, I don't think. And I think a lot of what made what helped the film age well was that the practical effects still hold up. So it was much better looking than this thing.
I know what it's reminding me of, and it's not just Geiger light. It is reminding me of monster effects from late 70s Doctor Who, the original series.
I could see that.
That's what it's reminding me of. So,
my reference point being Stargate on Sci-Fi Channel. Since Than is an old man, he goes to late 70s Doctor Who.
I mean, the SG-1 reference is pretty accurate also, or you could say Atlantis, whatever.
Atlantis, yeah.
But, point being, that is nowhere near as cool as what actually ended up on screen. I think that is our big overarching takeaway here.
Yep. So if you never saw the original Predator suit, that was my contribution. I wanted to show folks for that. So rather than what we got on screen, you could have seen that. I don't think the film would have aged the same way. So here, I'll get rid of that.
Yeah. Ain't nobody got time for that. Nobody needs to see that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
All right. Did you have any more half-assed research? Because we're pushing. Pushed 2 hours.
Yeah, we're pushing stuff. I think that was pretty much it. As I wanted to get to show those pictures. So that's about all we got for that one. So we can move on to probably unanswerable questions.
Yeah, let's do that. We'll rip through some of these quick.
Yeah, these will be quick. Last couple of categories. Half-assed internet research always takes the longest.
Yeah.
So probably unanswerable questions.
This whole show always takes the longest. Whenever we do a Rewatchables, it's always 2+ hours.
It's fun.
Yeah. Well, we had more intro this time. Van,
true.
do you have any unanswerable questions here?
I mean, I think Stallion in chat earlier hit the big one as far as, random woman comes out of the forest to the chopper and says, "Hey, I'm on your team." Really?
We'll hop
Really?
on.
Yeah, no. No, I mean, what's going to happen there is you're going to run out of the forest and they're just going to go, "Who the fuck are you?"
They would have
And
shot her in the face.
yeah, they probably would have killed her. I mean, let's call that for what it is.
Does it
But
show if
no,
she's restrained or not restrained in the helicopter?
I don't think she was.
I don't think so. Well, they'd already cut her loose when she has to make the run for the chopper. But yeah, I don't think she has anything on any like bindings when we get to the scene at the end.
Right.
I would say, like, an answerable question I have here. So I know there weren't actually any hostages because it was all a setup. Again, spoiler alert that Dylan, was playing his cards pretty close to the chest. But suppose there were hostages in that compound. How many of them get fucking killed on that raid? Like, this was your idea of an extraction right here, is just to blow up the entire fucking thing.
Yeah. Well, they did say at the start that they rescue people or something. They're not.
They're not killers.
Yeah.
They're not assassins.
No, of course not.
Good one.
Definitely not killers. These guys.
That's and that thought I happened as I was watching all these buildings explode. I was like, wait, weren't they rescuing some hostages? And how did they know they weren't in those buildings? Yeah, that's a big one.
Shoot first, ask questions later.
How does?
Speaking of, we're playing D&D again tomorrow night.
Oh yeah, we are.
Speaking of shooting first and asking questions later.
Right, we are. Okay.
How does the Predator?
Speaking of murdering hostages, Van.
Hey, psychopathic commander with, multiple personalities. It's fine.
How does the Predator not slam into more trees? Because seemingly the only thing it can see is people because of their heat signatures, and can't distinguish any like trees or anything, at least not from the view that you get.
See like the fuzzy outlines of stuff.
Yeah, but like
it would be like me trying to drive at night. I would be crashing the shit all the time.
But he's so graceful and shit. Like until actually, and here's the other one. Why does the Predator move so gracefully until he starts fighting Dutch, and then he becomes like this lumbering giant of a beast?
Well, the real answer to that is that Kevin Peter Hall couldn't see out of the suit.
Yep.
Because it's covering his eyes, but yeah, that's a good question.
What else did I have? What did you guys have?
What does Dylan, and by extension the CIA, what do they actually know about the Predator? Like, what is Dylan's endgame here? We know that he's like set them up to fail. Essentially, like, there are no hostages. He needs to get them into this jungle. He seems to know something about there's this weird thing out there, but like, what does the CIA actually know? Like, is he been sent out here to get this thing? Because I feel like Dylan is kind of like the Paul Reiser character in Aliens, that it's like secretly he's there because they want to capture the Predator, and he has all these ulterior motives or something like that, or he's there to find out more information, so he needs these other expendable commandos to go along with him. But like, what's his end game here? What does Dylan actually want?
I wasn't paying enough attention during that part of the movie, and I completely missed why they were now still in the jungle. Yeah, I thought it would had something to do with paperwork, but I wasn't paying enough attention.
Too many pencils.
What kind of trained military man sees a glowy red dot, or in this instance 3 glowy red dots, on his arm, and then sticks his head up to have a look to see what it is?
That's odd. Wonder what that is.
Oh, that seems like maybe sniper red dot. Maybe I'll have a look.
Maybe? Oh, no. Maybe.
Don't
Possibly?
do that. That really bugged me, because that was such a dumb way for Mac to go. Poor Mac.
Poor Mac.
Poor Mac.
R.I.P. Mac. I still have a curiosity. Like, what country is this supposed to be set in? I know it's nondescript Central American country. Like, I legit want to know, though, with like all the Green Berets and CIA involvement, is like, is this supposed to be some like Iran-Contra spin-off bullshit that's happening here? Like they're funneling weapons to like death squads in Nicaragua or El Salvador or something as part of the side of this? Because we know that there's like supposed to be Soviet military advisors who are like helping these rebels or whatever, but like I legit want to know. I know that for the audience, it's like, yeah, whatever. It's some Latin American shithole you don't need to know about.
I had to go. I rewatched it again this morning, or at least that opening scene, and yeah, I was like, wait, do they even say what country this is? And I had a look at the map. I was trying to figure it out. I was like, where is this?
No.
There's a government minister and his aides who have been kidnapped by the rebels.
Damn rebels.
Also, were the rebels that bad? I mean, Anna seems like she's pretty cool, so maybe the rebels had a point.
Well, you know, rebels are only rebels because they're anti whatever government's calling them rebels, right?
Yeah. And I mean, if they were allied with America in the 80s, I have some questions about this government. I'm thinking maybe the rebels were onto something here.
I did have here as well, why didn't Dutch's arm get blown off when he got shot? But then I read a thing that sort of cleared that up for me. But
like his arm, he gets hit like full in the chest with the thing that blew off Carl Weathers' arm.
So yes, and then I went back and this, because this is actually posed. What's the plot armor? It was actually posed on in IMDb, and if you go back and you watch, it actually hits him in the gun, and the gun gets teared in half, and the shrapnel is what clips him in the arm. Or at least that's what IMDb said. So I went back and watched it. And yeah, I guess that's you could kind of make that point, but really at the time you're like, whoa, that dude, he got hit flush in like at least the collarbone area and seemingly was fine about it. Yeah. And then I had why does the predator laugh like that at the end? Because it's weird. So
I think again he's like just mimicking human sounds that he's heard.
So
it's just straight up a mimic thing. So there, you actually have an answer.
Yeah. So I went back and I read it on IMDb, and so I then went back and watched that scene. I actually watched the scene. They said that he was mimicking. He was apparently mimicking, the tracker dude. What's his name? Billy.
Billy.
After he was laughing at Hawkins' second joke. That he made, and now I went back and watched it. I was like, oh, it did sound pretty similar actually. So yeah, there you go. You're welcome.
Answered. Question answered.
All right. Category 10, the Sven Ole Thorsen That Guy Award for the actor who appears in tons of TV and film, but most people don't know their name. It just, hey, he's that guy from. Note on this: Sven Ole Thorsen actually is in this film, so he makes cameos. So I guess he wins by default since the award's named after him. He doesn't have any lines, very brief screen time, but the guy who's the main Soviet military advisor, that is Sven Ole Thorsen, who is one of Arnold's old weightlifting buddies, but has been in all kinds of stuff.
He played LaFours,
Steve, again, I remember brought up he's LaFours, the mall cop in Mallrats. Also doesn't have any lines in that film.
If you weren't going to choose him, I would say Bill Duke, because I don't know his name, but I'm like, I know, I've seen that guy in other stuff before.
I think Bill Duke, for most people, he probably is very much of that guy. It's just like, oh yeah, I've seen that guy before. Yeah, I mean, to me, he's Bill Duke, but I don't know. I watch a lot of films and try to know things about various actors.
Yeah, I know his name because I wrote it down on my notes.
He's not really that guy because he doesn't act very often, but I guess like Shane Black kind of falls in this category because he's obviously better known for being a Hollywood writer and for writing stuff like the first two Lethal Weapon films. Right. For directing a later Predator film. I don't know if he did just the Predator. Did he do Predators and the Predator? I can't remember. I think he directed both of those. But anyway, deeply involved in this. But I guess this kind of goes into half-ass internet research. Supposedly, like, he refused to do any like script doctoring or rewrites for scenes for this film because he's like, no, I'm here to act. This is gonna be my big breakthrough acting job. Sorry, Shane, didn't really work.
No. Not so much.
11?
Oh, yeah, he also directed Iron Man 3. So.
Oh, there you go.
There's that.
That was the best one.
Agree.
I enjoyed it.
It wasn't the best one. I liked it. It just wasn't the best one.
Well, I guess probably go with Bill Duke. Probably wins. Since Fenwell Thorson can't win his own award.
I mean, he could, but that seems like the easy way out. So cool.
Number 11.
Apex Mountain. Was this the apex of anyone's career when they were at the peak of their powers? Was this like their top bit? So let's just go through. So,
Yeah, I was about to say.
so Carl Weathers? Do we have a case for Carl Weathers?
Yeah.
We do, because like this is like in this, 3 or 4 year range where Carl Weathers was in a bunch of stuff, and he was top billing in some things, if I remember correctly, and a lot of second and third bills behind other people, because second and third bills, you're behind other people. But I don't think, like, outside of this, I mean, yes, he has worked consistently. It's not like he's ever fallen off the face of the earth. But I don't think the things that he has been in have necessarily been as high a profile as what he was doing kind of in this mid-late 80s time frame. He was obviously, he's still been in stuff, and he's still very good in stuff, but I think it's all been, not necessarily this tent pole level, as it were.
Yeah, without this, he potentially doesn't go on to do those other, still good roles recently.
Yeah, that's the question. Is that so? He's coming off Rocky IV, going into this film, where obviously he exits the franchise because he dies.
He
Spoiler
did.
alert.
He did, bro. He did.
Then he does Predator, and then he does Action Jackson, which is arguably like his most successful role, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily as Apex Mountain. So if you want to make the case that he gets Action Jackson because of this film and not because of the Rocky franchise, then I guess that's your best case for this being Apex Mountain for Carl Weathers. I still would say that for his career, obviously, I think Apollo Creed is always going to be the role he's most associated with, since he plays that in 4 films, and he only plays Dylan for an hour in this film. But yeah, at this point in his career, maybe this is like peak Carl Weathers right here.
Yeah. It's not my favorite, but yeah.
Not my favorite.
Oh, Arrested Development's so good.
And then obviously has had his late career resurgence in Mandalorian.
Yep.
Elpida Carrillo, who played...
For American films, probably.
Yeah.
But she's been a steady working, fairly successful actress in a lot of Mexican cinema, is my understanding. So I wouldn't say for her overall career, but at least for American audiences, probably.
Yeah.
Elpida Carrillo, yeah. Arnold? Do we have any case, any votes for Arnold?
Nah, because that's
no.
a massive mountain. Like, yeah, he has so many films under his belt that are as big as
and
this.
also, he's still got Terminator 2 after this.
I think that's the biggest case, is that you got to
yeah.
say that Terminator 2 is probably Apex Mountain for Arnold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because Terminator 2 is fucking amazing on so many levels. So this this is definitely, he's still ascending the mountain at this point for sure. But yeah, I'd have to say for Schwarzenegger, Terminator 2 is his apex, and then I mean, I don't think you can ever say that he's fallen off the mountain.
Jingle All the Way was massive. That's probably bigger than Terminator 2.
That was Zenith Valley for Arnold. If there's Apex Mountain, not Zenith. There's Nader Valley.
There you go. That's the right word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that's probably the high point in his career.
Terminator 2 is the high point in his career. Fuck off.
No, definitely Jingle All the Way. Double Man.
No, you're not gonna wind us up again, Steve. Not playing into your bullshit.
Kindergarten Cop. Who is your daddy and what does he do?
You son of a bitch.
It's not a tumor.
John McTiernan, the director. No way. He's about to make Die Hard.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So Die Hard definitely more in there. Kevin Peter Hall as the Predator. I'm gonna say probably yes.
Right.
I mean, again, career tragically cut short, but I think this is arguably his biggest role.
Right.
Shane Black, the writer? No. Shane Black, the actor? Resounding yes. This was a short run, but Shane Black, Apex Mountain for your acting chops.
Acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Apparently he
Bill Duke's done a lot of work, and I think he's been a series regular. I can't remember the name of the show now. So
he's done
I
heaps of
can make a
stuff.
case. Yeah, he's done heaps of stuff, but maybe this is what most people would know Bill Duke from.
Right.
So if you're gonna go with
He's
that,
so good in this.
maybe.
Jesse
I had in
Ventura.
my notes Alan
Jesse
Silvestri, but not according to Than.
Who?
the composer.
The composer. Yeah, Stanley was bigging him up last night as well. But they're not a fan.
Don't.
You're
like
more
the
attuned with the
invitation,
racist comments that the Jesse Ventura was making. Not racist, homophobic. It's more in your warehouse, right?
You're not going to do it, Steve-O. You're not going to do it to me again.
Just picking.
Oh,
just
look,
picking
we're
his
quickly
brain.
approaching the end of the podcast. All right, so
definitely not
who
Jesse
won
Ventura. Or maybe as an actor.
Yeah, I don't think we can go with Jesse Ventura since I'm gonna say that Governor of Minnesota is probably his apex mountain.
Probably, yeah.
Probably. Yeah. That's...
And then he falls off and goes into conspiracy theory lane with this radio show.
But from an acting perspective, I mean, what else did he do? I literally
you
can't.
If you're gonna throw in all his entertainment work, I would say like his WWE commentary
Absolutely.
or WWF as it was at the time is probably like Apex Mountain for Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah, absolutely.
Give me Jesse the Body and Gorilla Monsoon all day calling matches.
Gorilla Monsoon. Anyone else? I think
That's
probably
about
it,
all
right?
I have for Apex Mountain I can make a case for. So I'm gonna say Kevin Peter Hall, Shane Black the actor. Yeah, there's a case for Carl Weathers. I don't know. I'm still kind of. I still want to kind of say Rocky IV, but he's not even in Rocky IV that much.
Right. I've never seen any of the Rockies, so I wouldn't know.
And never seen Rocky films.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
it's just
We got a long library to get through here.
I don't know. Like Sylvester Stallone doesn't do it for me. I've never seen any of the Rambos either, and I'm not interested.
The first Rambo and the first Rocky, like I think his acting chops in those is actually surprisingly good.
I've been
now the
told
sequels are much more over the top.
I had the
yeah.
idea of getting into those back catalogs just really pains me. Question: is this the fourth Rewatchables? Is this the fourth Rewatchables?
Starship Troopers.
4?
You're missing Starship Troopers,
Yeah.
Ethan.
Yeah, one of my favorite episodes we've done.
Number 12.
Yep. So who won the movie?
The end credits.
Oh yeah, end credits are great. Please bring back 80s film credits, or it's just people doing candid shots.
Why didn't they do one for Arnie? Like they did, but they didn't. They just took a still from the movie. But everyone else's seemed to be like purposefully done.
He's like, I've been in the jungle too long. I need to go back and push some pencils.
I've got nothing to smile about.
I must get to the chopper.
Who won the movie? Arnie won the movie.
Well, not Shane Black's girlfriend, that's for sure. She did not win the movie.
No.
Not
Chewing
even
tobacco
a little.
did not win the movie.
Nope.
Arnold Schwarzenegger won the movie.
The
I
end
mean,
credits won the movie.
even though he loses the final fight, can we say the Predator won the movie since it spawned a whole universe of sequels? Whether those sequels were good or not, side question. But it's like you develop this whole other IP based on that. So I feel like as we brought up with Aliens, like do the Xenomorphs, do the aliens sort of win the movie since you have all this additional universe content's been made from them? Does the Predator win the movie because it's the coolest thing?
Maybe. If you're gonna go by that,
I have to agree with what Stallion says.
Yeah, or Stan Winston won the movie for designing or redesigning the Predator,
Fixing
so
the Predator, yeah,
so that it actually became this iconic thing that did spawn out into larger IP.
Perhaps the real winner of the movie was meme culture. Meme culture was the winner of this movie.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you son of a bitch. Psh. Love it. So good. I think Arnie won this movie, personally. But yeah, there's a case to be made for Stan Winston saving the movie.
I think it's a good answer. It's not a wrong answer. I'll go with that.
Laser Force is the real winner. Took him out with the Ichigo.
Not with the Ichigo.
Oh, it's so good. I love it. All right. Well, that's the end of the categories. I think anyone who watches this movie ends up winning this movie. If you haven't watched this movie, I would recommend watching this movie. If you live in New Zealand, it's on Star on Disney Plus. You should watch it. It's great. If you live elsewhere, maybe get a VPN.
If you don't live in New Zealand, they have this great new thing. It's called a VPN.
Yeah, get one of
So
them.
that you can pretend you're in New Zealand and connect in. And once again, just for random shits and giggles, our rewatchable portion of the show has gone as long as the movie.
Yay! Longer. That movie's what, hour and 45.
Yeah, and
Sounds
we had
about
about 40-ish minutes worth of intro. Somehow we had 40 minutes of intro. It was like 40 minutes.
Either way.
Talking about
Either way.
Dune for
Yeah.
40 minutes. Yuck.
We could have talked longer, bro. We could have talked
Doom
longer.
podcast. That's gonna go like 5 hours
Make
right
your
there.
own podcast. Than's got his own channel. More than welcome to do it over
Dan.
there.
Fuck Diablo 3. We're doing a Dune stream tonight.
It's funny because I just downloaded Diablo 2 remaster. I was like, I wonder if I should have just got Diablo 3.
Everybody's
probably
playing
should.
Diablo 2 remaster now anyway. Everybody's
Yeah.
like, "Blah, Diablo 3, that's so yesterday. I'm gonna go back and play the old game.
Yeah, suck it.
I want the new version of the old game. That's what
That's
I
right.
want to play.
I want to play the new version of GTA 5 that's coming to the Oculus Quest. Can't wait for that. Right. Thank you everyone for hanging out with us today. Thank you all for hanging out watching the movie with us last night. We will look to do another Rewatchables for one of, if not all three of the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
It's only
you
gonna
can
be
tell-
one.
it's only
We
gonna
don't have enough hours in the day to do a rewatchables for all three.
We'll
Yeah.
go
At least not all at once.
Cussing's a great laughs. That's my favorite part. I like that part the best. Oh, that and the what age the worst part. That's a big one for me. Than
I'll
aged
have
the
some
worst.
hot takes about that one. Get to Lord of the Rings, but I'll hold that for later.
We'll give people plenty of notice when we're going to do that movie watch. Perhaps we'll do. I was saying a thing because obviously the time difference doesn't really work so well at night time for a lot of people. Perhaps we'll do that one in the middle of the day on like a Sunday for us, so to be like Saturday night for you guys. That might work better, and you know, you have more people in watching the movies. It's quite a good way to watch it as a community.
So like similar to when we did the D&D stream.
Yeah, exactly right.
Which,
Speaking of which, we will be on
Speaking
tomorrow, 1 p.m. New Zealand time, for the ultimate or possibly penultimate episode of DK's D&D Chronicles. We'll see how we go.
It'll be good either way.
Yeah.
Either way.
Come join us. This week we have some stuff coming up. I'll probably look to do a stream on Tuesday, maybe. We're finishing off the Stranger Things Lego build on Wednesday, done it on Thursday, back on Thursday, and then back into the Resupply podcast next week with definitely all three of us. Because nobody's going out of town. Is that the get out of the hallway quest? Yes it is.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
always to get out of the hallway quest.
Ooh, this week gonna be good.
I hope you
Oh,
guys.
shit.
I hope you guys enjoyed. I enjoyed doing this particular version of the podcast. It's always fun.
We just like doing the podcast. Let's call it for what it is.
Exactly right. Fucking love this shit. But for this week,
I say we take off and nuke the entire site from orbit.
don't know why that didn't work.
Perfect timing.
Don't know why
Perfect
that
timing.
didn't work. Here's your nuke though. Whee. Nailed it. For this week, I have been Guy Next Door.
I've been DK.
And I've been Fan.
Always remember to backtrack, kids. especially when there's a predator after you. We will see you.
Get to the chopper!
Tokomaru Yutuga. We'll see you next week. Ka kite anō.
I've been throwing daggers in the night. I've been chasing all the stars, stealing all their lights. The cut so sharp, cut so deep. If they seem to hit their target, must be what we reap. 'Cause you don't know what I know. You don't feel the way I feel. All these places I wanna go makes me wonder if my looks could kill. I've been throwing daggers in my dreams. If they seem to hit their target, it's harder than it seems. You don't know what I know. You don't feel the way I feel. All these places I wanna go makes me wonder if my looks could kill. I'm a well-known stranger, walking my own path. Gave up all my mysteries just to get